Hello. Oh my god. My bits is not doing well. It's probably because I'm running a video in the background, but hello. Big beef. My connection is like atrocious today. What's going on? Like, it's so bad. I'm looking at the bottom and it's all red. No. Biggest of beefs. The struggle is real. But anyways, how's it going, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. Hello. Welcome, welcome to the stream. I love you all so much. Hi, Rolf. Hi, Azure. I love you both so much. Y'all are the bestest beans. How's it going? Yeah. I mean, YouTube videos just like bring down my connection so bad. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why, but it just sucks. It's like I play a YouTube video in the background and the stream's like, nope. You don't want to deal with that. No way, Jose. No, I don't. I can't believe Azure would say this. How's it going? I hope everyone's doing well. Oh my gosh, why is... I can't stop looking at the bottom and how bad my connection is. Why is it so bad? It's like the worst I've ever seen. Spaghetti internet. I know, right? Like, what's going on? Why is it so bad? Heck yeah. See, I paused the video and guess what? My connection is all good again. It's all the video. I hate it. I hate the fact that I can't, like, watch YouTube videos without, like, the stream dying. Because now it's just weirdly silent. We need music in the background. And the only way we get that is if I play this video, but then the stream tanks. Biggest of beefs. You hate to see it. Anyways, and yeah, you do say it all the time, Azure. That is true. Just have the game open in the background. I mean, I've done that before too. But I don't remember if where we stopped had music. So I could, like, open up the game and it's just silent. And it's like, well, there that goes. I used to do it all the time when I was doing the Pokemon streams, though, because, you know, the Pokemon, like, menu had music and stuff, so I would just use, like, that. But it seems like we've hit equilibrium. Like, it's no longer tanking while the music is playing, so... Could use one of those YouTube downloaders to get them. That's true. Oh, nope, we're dying again. The dying is happening again. Oh my god. Never mind, today is just not the day. Okay, I'm gonna just open up the game and hope that... Though, I will say today that OBS was acting a little funky today. So, there's that too. Immediately gets loading circle. Yeah, I'm sorry. The struggle is real. I mean, also, another problem is my internet just sucks. I just have the worst internet. But my computer is also doing some weird stuff, so there's that too. The struggle is definitely real. I know, though, that I paused this, so that shouldn't be a problem anymore. Yeah, Pasta was having issues as well. Yeah, because, was shaving issues as well. But yeah, like when I launched OBS today, it actually didn't connect to Twitch at first. I had to relaunch it like several times for it to even connect to Twitch. So OBS seems to be having some issues today. Because I'm pretty sure I've updated it, so that shouldn't be the problem. But maybe just OBS is struggling, or Twitch is struggling. It could be Twitch as well. Who knows? I don't know. Let's just open up the game and hope that we're at a part that I can just play in the background. If not, I guess I could open up Pokemon Black 2 and just have the music from that play in the background. But then if I start that, I'm just going to want to be playing Pokemon Black 2. I'm not going to want to play Hakuoki at that rate. I always update you, Azure. I always make sure to update you. I updated you last night. English just not working for me. Dang, C. Oh no, the latest update has messed up Azure's English. Oh no. Oh no. Also, according to Steam, we've only played Hakuoki for 3 hours, but I know that's not true because we've played it for like 2 streams, so it can't just be 3 hours. What are you talking about? Steam, what are you saying? What do you mean? So I'm debating on whether to try and... Oh, that is true. One of the streams wasn't... Oh, wait, and I forgot. The game takes up the whole freaking screen, so it actually... It doesn't matter. I have to... Oh, no. Wrong thing. I have to hide the chat anyway. Oh, that is true. That is true. Makes sense. Never mind. I'm just an idiot. I'm just a buffoon! A stupido! Idiota! Oh my gosh. Heck yeah. See you on the other side of the Snapchat. No, you. No, you. I just need to open up Twitch on my phone now because I forgot that I can't see the chat while I'm playing this game. So I have to open it up on my phone. Otherwise, I can't see what y'all are saying while I'm playing the game. Where's the thingy bobber? There it is. Heck yeah. I can see you. I saw you. I read that. I can still see the chat and I have it up on my phone now. I have it up here. Oh, oh, oh no. Oh boy. I saw it, Azure. Okay, there we go. Okay. Let's hope that wherever we're at has some music we can use. Okay, continue. I guess we're here. Okay, yeah, this music is chill. We can use this. This is some chill tunes. Let me know if the audio is too loud. You can't prove it. I literally have the receipts. It's pretty quiet. Big beef. Because for me, it's like kind of on the loud side, which is a problem. Wait, actually, I have an idea. Open volume mixer. Oh my gosh, I hate the fact that it now does it like this. This is so dumb. Cause Hakuoki for me is at 90, but system sounds are pretty low, so maybe that's why. Like, maybe I just need to turn up. I'll turn up the system sounds and then turn down Hakuoki. Like, I'll turn up system sounds to, like, let's go 25% and then turn this down to, like, 75. Let's see how that is. How's this? Can't believe Anya has done this. Delete those receipts. Never. Never. Sounds the exact. I don't know. I don't know then. Oh, wait. Maybe it's open volume mixer. Let me turn up OBS and see if that fixes it. Oh no! What did I do? How did I do that? How did I do that? How did I pull that up? Also, is this better? Or it's still the same? The struggle is real. Okay, it's better. That's good. I turned up OBS basically, so it should have fixed that. But it should have also turned me up too, which is a big beef moment. Now we're both louder. Dang C. Drinking some of my bean juice right now. Now you're the... Oh, okay, good. Yeah, that is true. I'm always blasting people's eardrums. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. I just got my Joshua plushie. I'm super excited about it. No! He's stealing data, punching Joshua. Same brain cell. I'm thinking about Joshua at the same exact moment. Incredible. Oh my gosh. But no, you can't steal data. And you can try and punch Joshua in the face. I don't know if you'll make it very far. He's a very smug plushie. It's so true. Oh my gosh. Wait, actually, you know what? Hold up. Gonna make this bigger for a second. Wow. I'm gonna bring my plushie over. Hold up. Hold the phone. There he is. The man, the myth, the legend. There he is. I pre-ordered this back in like June. I pre-ordered this back in June and he's finally here. It took months, but he is here. I love him. I love him. Look, he is so smug. I love him. They made him so smug. He's so good. I love him. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Rolf, I was so excited about that, to be honest. I was like, oh my gosh. People noticing my stuff. I always forget that Screen Rant is like kind of a big site. And then I just see random people talking about my stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. But yeah, I'm Big Yo right now. I love this man. Anyways, gotta put him back. Yeah, he's the best. And then Small Yo with Big Yo with Joshua, and then Small Yo with no Joshua. You hate to see it. Yep, dang C. Dang C. But yeah, I legit got that, like, I want to say, yeah, it must have been June when I pre-ordered it and it finally arrived. I was so happy. I was like, there he is, my boy! My boy! I need to post it on Twitter, be like, my boy has arrived. Because I've basically only used Twitter nowadays for promotion. Like, I only ever promote the fact that I'm going live and stuff when I need to, like, tweet other things so that people will actually look at my Twitter instead of just seeing going live notifications. So I might post the pic that I posted of Joshua on Twitter to be like, ayo, I got my boy! I got my boy! But yeah, I love that man with all my heart. One of the only people who I love more than him, of course, Goro Akechi. My main man. Which I do have a figurine for him. A Nendoroid in the background over there. I don't know if y'all could ever see him, but he's over there. My favorite of boys of all. Heck yeah. Aw, Azure, you're the best. You're the bestest being in the whole wide world, Azure. You're wholesome, Azure, and that's a fact. Yeah, I was excited about that. I was excited about seeing the tweet of my article posted. Like, that was really awesome. And what else? Oh yeah, Jaden Animations, one of my fave channels, posted about her experiences with being on the A spectrum, specifically being a romantic asexual. And like, it was just so awesome to see like a major creator like shining light on this experience. And there was like a lot of people in the comments like realizing, hey, I might also be on the A spectrum and I never knew, because it's so like not talked about at all. Like, you kind of grow up thinking like you have to be a certain way when it comes to attraction, and so you don't really know that there is a possibility of lacking that attraction. And that being yeah, she is. It's so true, Rolf. Jaden's awesome. Love Jaden a lot. There's some good YouTubers out there. There's some terrible people, but there's also some really great people nowadays, and it's good to see. But yeah, he's pretty awesome, and it was so awesome to like see that video and like get that information out there for many people who don't understand what it means to be on the A spectrum, and to have like a major content creator like talking about it is so important, because as I said, like it's not really like there's not a lot of exposure for it, and so a lot of people go through their lives not even knowing that they might be on the A spectrum. Good people still exist, it's so true. But yeah, for me personally, like I related to a lot of what she talked about in the video. Like I also grew up like being like, what? I don't understand why people are talking about crushes or like dating. Like when I was really young, I used to think like, I don't know why everyone's being so immature, like going for dates with people and stuff, when we should be focusing on our schoolwork. We're still too young for this. Like that was my thought process, is like thinking we're not at that right stage yet for like actually feeling attraction for people. So instead, we should just be focusing on work and it'll happen later. But then as I got older and older and older, and I still didn't feel anything for anyone, I was like, maybe it's not that. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm the outlier. But yeah, I used to like basically look at people at school and go, none of these people are attractive. Why is it that I have only attractive people at my school? Only unattractive, I should say, people at my school. But nope, it was me. Who would have thunk it? It was me. But yeah, for me personally, I'm demi in both romantic and sexuality, because I can feel attraction, but it's like once in a like blue moon under very specific circumstances. Like that's why I always tend to fall in love with the same characters in shows. Basically, if one of those characters, like if someone was like that in real life, I would fall in love with them and be super attracted to them. But anyone else, I feel nothing. It doesn't matter if they're like conventionally attractive. Like there's like a logical part of my brain will look at a person and be like, yeah, this person is conventionally attractive. But I won't like feel anything. Like I won't be drawn to this person just because they're good looking. That's understandable, Rolf. And I think that's something that should be talked about too, is like how like not everyone's gonna have the same like stages. Like there's this idea that once you turn like a certain age, you should be acting in a certain way, when in reality that's not how it is at all. Everyone kind of has different like segments in life. Like some people may get to something earlier while other people get to it later, and a lot has to do with like our experiences and our personal like things about ourselves. That's understandable, Rolf. That's totally understandable. I did have like 1 or 2 crushes while I was in high school. Again, comparatively to all the guys that I've ever met. I've only had like 2 crushes in my entire life, like 2 real crushes, and they were both during like my freshman year of high school. I basically finally met a guy that was sort of kind of like what I was looking for, but at the time I didn't know because I was still only a freshman in high school, and then I had to move away and I never saw him again, and I was like, no. But yeah, I did have that one dude. He was pretty cool. Oh, another thing that I related to was, Jada talked about thinking like maybe I'm bi or maybe I'm pan or things like that, and I felt that way too, growing up, because I was like thinking through like different terms, like different identities, and being like, am I this? Am I that? Like, I mean, I don't really feel any specific attraction towards anyone, so maybe I'm bi because I feel kind of the same about all genders. Like, that's basically how it was for me. But then I learned the fact that the A spectrum exists and that demisexuality is a thing, and I was like, oh, that's me. There I am, finally. Which is why I say that, I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't say that looks and stuff isn't a factor for me. Like, as Angel pointed out, I wouldn't want to date Akechi if he had Igor's face or something like that, you know? So there is, you know, that level of it, but it's at a very... The thing about being on the A spectrum is it's... For a lot of people, like, there are people who have, like, absolutely no attraction whatsoever, but then there's other people who it's, like, very little attraction and under very specific circumstances, which is kind of what it is for me, where it's not enough to just be attractive for me to feel attracted towards a person. You also have to have, like, very specific, like, things for me to feel attracted to you. That sort of thing. And it's because of that when I was growing up, I thought that I was broken because everyone was dating and, you know, having crushes and doing all that, and I felt, you know, that I was weird for not feeling any of those things. And I also felt bad because there was a lot of times in my life where guys would fall in love with me and I couldn't reciprocate, and I always felt bad about it, like really bad, because a lot of times I saw these guys as my good friends and I liked them a lot because of that, but I didn't feel like that attraction towards them, and I always felt really bad about it, like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me. You need to be a villain or Anya will feel nothing. Exactly. Nah, not exactly that, but they do need to have certain personality types for me to feel attracted. Yeah, that also led to me struggling with having guy friends growing up. I didn't really have, like, full-on guy friends until, like, maybe high school. And even then, like, most of my guy friends were actually in, like, college and later. And the reason was because I would try and, like, be friends with guys, and because of, like, this idea of, like, oh, guys and girls can't just be friends. Basically what would happen is, like, the guys would expect me to start dating them at some point, and I would say, no, I'm not interested. And then they would just, like, ghost me after that. Like, they would drop me like a hot potato. And it always, like, really hurt because it was like I didn't matter to these people beyond being a potential love interest, you know? Like, I wasn't worthy enough to be by their side unless I was, you know, in that sort of relationship with them. And it made it so that for a long time I didn't have really any guy friends because of that. And even though I really wanted to, because a lot of the things that I liked growing up are, and even now, are a lot of times more things that are usually associated with guys. And so a lot of the girls that I was friends with growing up didn't care about those things because they were taught that they're not supposed to care about those things. So, like, I didn't really have anyone to talk about video games or comics or anything like that growing up. Because my friends didn't really care because they were taught they weren't supposed to care. So I always wanted some guy friends, but each and every time they would, like, say, oh, do you want to start dating? And I would say no, and then they would leave or something, and it made it, like... It definitely made things difficult when it came to having guy friends, because it's like you put in the energy of trying to develop a friendship and then they just drop it as if it was nothing. Like, okay. Like, I would say one of the worst examples of that was actually something that happened in college. I had this guy that I met during one of my, I want to say like sophomore or junior years of college, and at the time I was still with the cosplay club, and that friend wanted that person that I became friends with was new to the school and didn't really have any friend groups or anything or connections. And so I befriended them and got them into the cosplay club and even got them to join as one, like, the, like, main people working behind the cosplay club. And so I brought him into the in-group and became good friends with him and stuff. And then he was like, hey, do you want to go out? And I was like, maybe, because, you know, he was a nice guy. I didn't really have any problems with him, so I actually even decided to go out with him for a day to see what he would do. And he just took me to the movies, and I want to say, first date should not be the movies. It should not. Like, no, don't do the movies, because then you're not talking to the person, because you're sitting and watching a film. That's a terrible first date. So already that was like a check mark of like, I don't know. But then, like, even though he was the one that invited me out, I was like the one that was constantly having to set everything up. And so I was like, oh, maybe we should just be friends. And then not too long after that, he like was like, I'm leaving the cosplay club, doing some other stuff, bye. And then he just vanished. And I'm like, oh. I guess that's that then. And I was like, what? But that's happened like so many times in my life where that like people would confess to me and then I would be like, nah, I'm not into him, and they would be like, okay, bye, see you later then. And it's like, what? For reals? For reals? I see what you mean, Rolf. That's understandable. Like, the idea of, what, like, you're still with somebody who you're in love with, but you can't actually, like, go beyond that. I understand that. It definitely is probably difficult. But at the same time, like, it is hard from this side as well to, like, put in the energy and effort of like making a relationship with somebody from a platonic standpoint, and then the person just leaving and all that kind of going to waste. And it also kind of makes the person feel like, wow, I'm not worth the time beyond that. But I do understand the other way as well. It's definitely a struggle. Relationships are hard. Very hard. Yeah, no, I totally get what you mean, Rolf. It's understandable from both sides. Yeah, go on a walk to a museum or something. Exactly. Honestly, museum, one of the top dates. Going to a museum, top date for me. If someone was like, let's go to a museum for a first date, I would be like, heck yeah, let's go. I would be so into it. Because museums are so fun, and they are like a perfect date, like, idea, because you get to walk around, you get to talk about the things you see in the museum, you get to learn some new things. It's a good time all around. But yeah, movies are like maybe good like with friend groups, or like later when like you really know a person and you just want to chill, like then it's fine. But definitely not a first date. That's already like, oof, I don't know about this person. But yeah. And I think there's been a couple times as well where I've like, on the other side of things, there's been a bunch of times while I was growing up where I had a friend who was a girl who would start dating somebody and then kind of just like ghost the rest of us after they started dating somebody, and I'm like, oh well, here goes that too. And sometimes even my best friend, and I would lose kind of a best friend, and it was always really sad. Which is why I had always told myself, if I ever find somebody one day, like, they're gonna be my best friend rather than my only friend, basically. Like, I'm still gonna want to hang out with my friends. I'm still gonna, you know, place a lot of my time and effort into my friends and my family. They're just gonna be one part of my larger life, basically. Because I don't want to put other people through that same scenario that I had to go through many times. Yeah, it is better, like, if you're at home watching a movie. Like, that's a lot better than going to the movies, because at least then, like, you can talk to each other and stuff while the film's going on and, like, see each other, make, like, commentary. Yeah. Like, even a first one, that's fine in that regard, because I think it's just important that you get to know the other person. Like, what's the point of going on a first date if you can't even talk to one another? Like, what? Yeah. That's understandable, Rolf. Honestly, like, we all have our blind spots. We all make mistakes and things, and it's just important that we learn from that, you know? Like, I've definitely made lots of mistakes in my life. I have some things that I regret from my younger years as well. And I think that's normal. Like, we're all growing. We all have, like, a limited perspective, and we slowly learn to be better over time, hopefully. So there's no worries about that. Completely understandable. But, yeah. It was just nice to see Jaden talking about it from somebody coming from me who also has experienced a lot of that. The struggle is real. Yeah, anyways, so yeah. That happened. I started playing Pokemon Black 2 again last night.
Hello.
Hello, it's Rolf. Hello! Welcome to the stream. How's it going, Rolf?
Pretty good.
Heck
Bit tired,
yeah.
very busy, but
Yeah.
otherwise.
I mean, I feel that. That's why I'm late to these streams all the time, because I'm like oversleeping. And I'm like, oh shoot,
Yeah.
I gotta go. I ended up sleeping until like 2:18 p.m. today, and I was like, I gotta go. The stream's in less than an hour. And then I come downstairs and the Joshua plushie is here. And I'm like, snap!
It's like Christmas morning.
Yeah. Been waiting for months for that smug boy. But yeah, I'm super happy about that. Also, another thing that's kind of interesting, I looked up like some stuff about the new routes in this game, and I think you can straight up just miss them if you choose like certain things, which I think is so funny. Like, you just don't
just
ever
add
meet
a whole
them.
bunch of content and you
Yeah.
just by chance miss all of it.
Yeah, because like there's like, for example, one of the guys to meet, you basically gotta like dip out of everything. Like, you gotta be like, nah, I'm not doing this, nah, I'm not doing that, and then all of a sudden he appears and it's like, what? What do you mean? Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's just, the weird thing about this game is, like, the story is pretty well written, but, like, some of the choices very much don't make sense in terms of, like, a narrative. Because it's like, why would Chizuru choose not to do certain things when that's been her motive the whole time? Like, the game tries to be like, oh, she realizes it's too dangerous or whatever, and that it might be best to stay in or something like that, and it's like, okay. Like, I would say in terms of narrative wise, it might make more sense now for her to stay in after what just happened the other, like, last stream, you know? But before that, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't understand why she would be like, oh, maybe I'll just stay here. But to get some routes, you gotta do that. You gotta just be like, y'all, I'm just sitting here.
Just gonna sit here and wait for things to happen.
Yeah, basically.
Story of my life.
Yeah. Biggest of beefs. I mean, I can relate sometimes too. But it's why, like, the weirdest thing about, like, there's the Hakuoki anime as well, which the anime isn't that great, but the soundtrack is really good. The opening song, bombdadom.com. But the weird thing is, the Hakuoki show, like, Chizuru is still in it, but I wouldn't say she's, like, the main character.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, like, she's kind of, like, she's there, but it mostly still, like, I would say Hijikata takes the role of main character in the anime.
So it really is, like, more about the Shinsengumi than the romance.
Yeah, which makes sense considering that the game itself is more focused on the history than the romance too. But it's even more prevalent, I would say, in the anime. And it's kind of sad because I also feel like it also ruined Chizuru's character a little bit, because I felt she was a lot more, like, outgoing and stuff in the game than they made her in the anime, which is kind of sad.
So you went the do nothing path in that.
Yeah, basically, she's like, oh my gosh, the struggle is real. But, yeah. So far, the choices that we've been making, like, it's very weird, because basically all choices in this game do point towards certain routes. So, like, even making choices as, like, I'm staying in or going out or things like that do determine route stuff.
Yeah.
Which I always think is very interesting, that, like, just a choice like that is enough to make decisions on routes. And so far, a lot of the decisions we've been making have been very, Okito route focused so far. Like, even besides, like, the ones that are very obviously for his route, like, choosing to look for him and things like that, even before then, like, us choosing to find somebody to talk to and stuff, those are Okito route choices.
Okay.
Which is, I think is pretty funny. I wasn't even the one deciding the choices, and we're still going down his route. But yeah,
it's very Japanese game design to keep that sort of stuff very obtuse, like very hard to predict.
Yeah, that's why a lot of Western otome games are kind of like changing that a bit now. Like, there's this one that I have on my wish list. Oh, now I can't remember the name of it. It's on my Steam wish list. Now I have to check, because it's gonna bother me if I don't check. Can I even... Yeah, there it is. Where is it?
I wonder how much of that stems from the era where they made most of their money selling, like, strategy guides and hint helplines and stuff.
Well, because I think the idea is that dating sims are basically just a subgenre of visual novels. And visual novels, in terms of what it meant for, like when you use the term visual novel in, for Japanese related, like, it specifically means, like, those types of games where it's mostly text and stuff, but you have, like, stats, and you're having to, like, stat manage the whole time.
Okay.
Like, they would have you, like, oh, what are you gonna do today? And you would choose, like, whether to, like, go to school or do some work, or, like, what classes you would take, and that would determine your stats.
Style dating sim.
Yeah. And that's kind of how it started from. So it would make sense that you kind of still have that here with the very particular choices. Because it basically, the gameplay is figuring out which choices lead you to what route, you know? Whereas a lot of newer VNs are kind of taking that away from it, being like, well, some people don't care about whether it's a struggle to get that route or not. They just want to get the route, right?
Yeah, they want to experience content. But...
Yeah. And so what they do now in a lot of those is they either make the choices very obvious, like you're specifically going for this person, and you know, because those choices suggest that, or they make it so that the choices add to other things but not to the romance. Like, for example, the thing that I'm looking for here, hold up. Yeah, Arcadia Fallen. Basically, there is romance in it. But you don't really have to worry about getting with a person just because you disagree with them or things like that. Like, you can disagree with a person or respond in a different way, and you'll still go on their route. Because it's not that just determines your character, like, personality and stuff more than anything else. Yeah. And the same thing is with Andromeda 6. You can choose to, like, have your character be one way or another and still end up with a specific route. Which is, I guess, a lot more realistic, because it's not like most people will be like, oh, if you're like this instead of like this, like, I won't be attracted to you. Like, people can disagree and still be attracted to each other.
Yeah.
But in these games, it's very much still like, if you don't meet these very particular requirements, you're McFrickin' dead. Womp womp.
Yeah, always like when romances are not so like obvious, where it's like, oh, you just have to always say the nice thing or always agree, and then
yeah,
you win.
yeah,
That was in Mass Effect. There was a thing like you have like Liara and Ashley, which are
yeah,
the main like female romance choices. And like I hate Ashley, but but her romance is much more interesting than Liara's. Because
yeah,
with Liara, you just pick top right every time, and you just say the nice thing and agree with her, and she'll be like head over heels
yeah,
with you. But with Ashley, it's like you do actually have to think about your choices, and you know, she doesn't like it if you just agree with her all the time. Because she's
yeah,
like, have your own opinion, please, which I respect.
yeah, yeah. I definitely like that a lot of Western visual novels are taking it in that direction. Because it definitely feels a lot more realistic than just being like, oh, I gotta meet these very particular requirements, otherwise these characters won't love me.
Yeah.
Which is also very strange because in a lot of these VNs, like you have to take certain choices to get to their routes, but it's oftentimes like hinted at in other routes that they still like the main character even in these other routes. So it's like, then what's the point? If they're still like into you even if you're on a different route, then what's the point? Oh my gosh. It's annoying, honestly. Anyways, are we ready for this?
Never.
Never. Is it up? Is it working for you, the stream, by the way?
It is now, yes.
Heck yeah. Weeks passed since the Battle of Akita Inn. In the meantime, the Shinsegumi grew stricter during their rounds to arrest the numerous outlaw Ronin that escaped from the Akita Inn. But yeah, this is real history. Yeah. Like, that the game is going through. Like, it's literally going through the history of all of this. And it's, like, really very detailed. Yeah, it's very precise on it. Which is part of the reason why I love it. Like, it's so well written and so history focused that's what I love about it. I remember I mentioned to Lulu not too long ago that I was like, it's really funny that one of my favorite dating sim visual novels is one of the ones that barely has the dating sim factor in it. And she's like, yep, sounds like someone who's on the A spectrum. Yeah, rumors surfaced of extremists who were plotting to exact revenge on the Shinsegumi. Additionally, there were also problems occurring with warriors spanning from other domains, making things tense around the headquarters. Like, an interesting thing about this game is that a lot of the plot is spoiled to you if you know the history.
Yeah.
Like, if you know who these people were in real life and, like, what happened in the actual, like, historical events, it's literally, like, basically the same thing, just with some magic stuff thrown in. So you're gonna see a lot of the same things. Like, you'll know who these characters are and whatnot, basically, if you know the history. And you'll know what happens to them if you know the history. And it's, like, there's some changes because of the added, like, magical elements. Like, there's some slight differences. But for the most part, it basically follows history to a T.
Yeah, I have read like the Wikipedia page for a lot of these things, but fortunately I've already forgotten, so.
I mean, I think it doesn't really take away from playing through the game if you know the history. In a way, it just kind of gives you like some extra dimension to it, I think, more than anything else. Because it is a little different with the magic stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
And you have to remember this is made in Japan, so a lot of the Japanese audience probably knows all the history too, and they're, you know, still playing through it and enjoying it, so.
Yeah.
Things were finally settling down. As a result of my efforts during the battle, they grew more encouraging of my involvement. The Shinsegumi allowed me to sweep the area in front of the headquarters on my own. One day I was cleaning the courtyard with a broom when I heard gentle footsteps approaching me. Who the heck is this? I don't know who this is. Excuse me, but is this the Shinsengumi headquarters? Oh, yes! Oh, wait, no! Maybe we do get to... Okay, never mind. Maybe we do get to meet these men even if we aren't on the wrong route. Because this is the guy that I was talking about that you had to, like, say not to do anything to meet him.
Oh.
But I guess he's still here. But he does, like, to get the start of his route, I think you still had to have done that. Because, like, I saw, like, the beginning of his route, basically. And it was, like, there was, like, this man running, like, a shop or something. And that guy, that haughty guy that I just want to punch the face of, I hate him so much, was, like, bullying this poor old man, saying, like, oh, you must be with the bad guys or whatever, even though the guy's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just an old man running this shop. What do you mean? And he just keeps bullying him and threatening to kill him and stuff. And I'm like, what the frick is wrong with you? And then this guy right here appears and is like, I'll take care of him. And he comes out and absolutely pummels him. And I was like, yeah, get him, kill him. And then he was like, you remind me of somebody from my past or whatever. So I think he probably like knew Chizuru in the past or something. I don't know. And then he left. And that was that. That was all I saw. But I was like, wow, you gotta say no to everything to start his route. Why? But yeah, there he is. Another man to the roster.
So many men.
Yeah, so many men, so little time.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he recognizes us, huh? What?
The fuck?
Hijikata showed up suddenly as if he telepathically knew I was speaking to someone. Hijikata! Oh, also, another fun fact. Since we're not, so that we have something to do instead of just reading, I turned off the voice acting. But the game is fully voice acted.
Right, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and all the guys have some pretty well-known voice actors. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the guy that voice acts this new guy that we just bumped into is also the same guy who voice acted Dazai in Bungo Stray Dogs.
Oh.
Like, I'm pretty sure it's the same voice actor. I was like, that voice sounds familiar.
I should check out, like, videos of them talking so I know what their voices are supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, we could do, like, a short segment. Or right at this moment, we just listen and hear what everyone sounds like, and we can comment on how they sound. Make a commentary.
Just going. Maybe it's better if I don't know how wrong I am.
No, it would be great, though. I think it would be hilarious. Oh, Hijikata, this man is... Before I could finish my sentence, the man ran towards Hijikata.
And stabbed him.
Oh, yeah, he just goes up and he's like... That would have been so funny.
Oh, I knew it, Toshi. It's me, Hachiro. Long time no see. Wait, Hachiro? What the hell are you doing here?
When Hijikata realized who it was, his eyes grew wide.
Are you surprised? I visit Kyoto with Shogunate orders.
Orders given from the
No shit. I bet, like, in the Japanese, this is like a very specific word or something. And
Yeah,
that's why
probably.
It has to have, like,
probably.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Oh, boy.
Forget about me. Man, it really was you connected to the Shinsengumi.
Wait, you know what? Wait, no. How do I pull it up? Where is it? There it is.
Save.
And then... I'm gonna do it for a second, just so you guys can hear. Wait.
Oh, you can do it for each character.
Yeah, you
That's
can
it.
have it for each character, but I don't know how to turn it on.
It's one back in the menu. One more. Toggle voices.
Oh yeah, there it is. Toggle all on. But yeah, and so you can choose like certain people to shut up.
If you don't like their voice.
Yeah, you're like, frick.
I mean, whenever, like if we have, because there's some people that Doodle was voicing, we could just turn those on, and then. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. So then we don't have to voice everybody. It would be funny.
Yeah.
How do I?
You could turn on Hachiro.
How do I say okay? Oh, there. Are you ready?
No.
So now you get to hear some of the voices.
この目で見るまでは信じられなかったけど
Alright. I mean, they were talking Japanese, so I can just let them talk and then I translate, I guess.
Yeah, that is true, but
Might be weird. But,
Yeah, it would be weird though. But you can hear it, right? Like that's definitely Dazai, right there.
yeah, I mean, it's only the one line, but I can.
おめでとうございます本当に侍になれたんですね
Oh yeah.
It's so Dazai. What the heck?
おい、冷やかすなよ。まだ扱いは浪人と同じなんだから。
Oh yeah, this guy I also definitely know.
Yeah, it's all pretty well-known voice actors.
It might actually be the guy who voices Hijikata in Gintama. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's cool though. If that's the case, that's awesome because that's like I voiced Hijikata not once but twice.
でも侍になりたいって夢が叶ったじゃないですか
But wait, if he knows us and he knows Hijikata, how? He must be traveling around a lot or something.
Mysteries.
冷やかすなって言ってんだろ。
No, wait, it's a different guy.
Yeah.
But still.
江戸じゃ泣く子も黙る新選組と言ったらとても有名なんですよ
He plays the shopkeeper in Bleach.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's very well known.
池田屋の話も聞いています皆さんとてもご活躍だったみたいですね
ま、ぼちぼちってところ。
Oh, he's blushing. Look at him blushing.
Long lost lover.
No! Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I want that to be real, though this game won't go down that route.
We have our first ship.
Heck yeah. How very unlike himself, Hijikata seemed to be flustered and his cheeks were rosy. Judging from their conversation, it appeared that this gentleman had come to visit Hijikata. The rhythm of their report seemed to suggest that they had been friends for quite some time. Once I verified their conversation had come to a halt, I muttered the courage to speak to Hijikata. Hijikata, may I ask who this is?
そうか。お前は初めてだったな。
Oh, I love that you can even see the mouth flaps too.
Yeah.
But wait, hold up. No. Ugh. I'm gonna change the settings so that some of these voices are turned off. It's so funny that you can turn off some of these voices. Like, nah, you don't get a voice. So I'm gonna turn off Hijikata's, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okita as well.
Yeah. Or do you want to hear him first, and then we'll turn it off? Let's see. Look how many people there are! Jeebus! No way.
My god.
Okay, let's turn off Iba next. Since we already heard his voice. Or do you want to just leave it on? Or do you want to voice
Yeah, I
act
feel
him?
like I have enough characters for now.
Yeah, let's just leave him on. And we'll figure out from there. We'll be like, oh, it's Dazai. Okay,
Just have like one character that stays voiced.
Yeah,
Randomly.
yeah, it would be so funny if someone was just, like came in the middle of the playthrough and it's just all of a sudden you just hear Japanese. It's like, oh, hello.
Like, oh, is this one the main character? It's the only character they voiced.
Yeah.
まだ名乗っていませんでしたね。僕、伊庭八郎と言います。
Iba Hachiro.
幕府直参旗本で大番士奥詰役を務めています。
What? Hatamoto, high-ranking vassals of the Tokugawa who serve the shogun directly. I can't speak today, apparently. Okuzume, an organization intent on protecting the shogunate. It is comprised of talented swordsmen from shogunate and lower-ranking vassals. Obanachi, an official group in the shogunate who is treated and behaves as a military force. Oh, I'm Chizuru Yukimura.
改めてよろしくお願いします。
Oh, so maybe not? I don't know. I can't tell if we've known each other before or not.
Oh, I think his reaction of like that he had is not towards us but towards Hijikata, like he
Oh,
saw him
maybe?
approaching or something.
Maybe, I don't know. Oh yeah, it's nice to meet you too. As soon as Iba and I finished our introductions, Hijikata was inclined to get us indoors.
Hey, we don't need to have this conversation out in the sun. Why don't you come inside?
I took tea to the two in the hall. Hijikata told me to remain there, so I decided to listen in.
So, you claimed you came to Kyoto with the shogunate orders. Sure climbed that social ladder, huh?
In Okuzume? I listened intently but subtly since I was unfamiliar with the contents of their conversation.
He is entrusted with protecting the shogun and his guests and friends who surround him.
Oh wow, I am honored to meet such a man.
いえいえ、そんなことありません。父の仕事の縁でたまたまなんです。
Nah, I saw you beat up the guy that I hate. You're pretty strong, boy. Don't even put yourself down. But what would bring a man of his stature here, Hijikata? This meant Iba was someone who worked directly with the shogun. What an honor. It made no sense why he would interact with the Shinsegumi or why he had business with us.
Oh, I see what you're thinking. You're thinking, why would he know a guy like me, huh?
He's so mean! I did my best to nod without offending him.
You see, not only is he a Hatamoto, but he's the heir to the Shingyoto Ryu Iba Dojo, the top 4 dojo in Edo.
One of the 4 oldest and most respected fencing schools in Edo, Hachiro Iba is the eldest son of the head of the family and institution.
The Iba Dojo and my dojo socialized often, so this is how we came to know each other.
ええ、そうなんです。だから、トシさんたちがいる今日に来ることになって、とても楽しみにしていたんです。
Whatever. Just keep in mind, Kyoto isn't exactly a vacation destination.
はい、肝に銘じておきます。でも、そんなに危険なのに、女の子でも大使が務まるんですか?
Oh, he got it! He got it right away!
He has the sight.
He has the sight! He's not dumb. He's smart. Iba glanced at me when he asked his question before looking to Hijikata. Look at him with the sweat drop, like, aw, shoot. I gasped and cupped my hands over my mouth, and Hijikata's eyes darted towards me sternly. It would seem Iba picked up on the fact I was female, judging by their interaction.
もしかして
I like this
It
guy.
was so obvious.
I think he's my favorite of the new love interests now. I mean, there's still one guy we haven't met yet, but I have a feeling he's gonna be my favorite. I love him. I didn't want to confirm any answers, so I stared towards the mat underneath without speaking.
Well, her reasons for being here are somewhat complicated, so we have her pose as a man for now. Only a portion of the men in the Shinjan-gumi know about her, so it would be preferred if you were to keep it under wraps in front of our men.
わかりました。トシさんがそう言うなら守りますよ。
Yeah, stay wrapped up in front of the men.
No. Iba drew Hijikata in closer in a jovial manner, and Hijikata blushed at the notion. I can't believe it! The ship!
They are.
The
They
ship!
really ship.
The true OTP!
The Hojay is real.
Heck yeah! Hijikata is normally really uptight, so seeing him behave this way was startling. I had a lingering suspicion that Hijikata was actually enjoying himself. All of the commotion must have alerted the captains because they popped up from nowhere.
おいおい、八郎じゃねえか。
There's his voice. You voiced Nagakura, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just thinking about it as we go along. I'll change it after the scene's over, basically.
Sure.
聞いたことがある声だと思ったら、お前だったのか。
And like all these voices sound familiar. It's a really
Yeah.
star-studded cast.
Yeah, it is a big cast. It's a well-known cast of characters.
新八さん、原田さん、それに皆さんもお久しぶりです。
Long time no see, boys!
そうか、お前も今日に来たのか。武者修行か？それとも狂犬物か？
なわけねえし、お偉いさんの護衛とか視察なんだろ。
まあ、はい、そういうところです。
I wonder what's going on here.
あんたが今日に来るとなると、それなりの職務に就いたということか。
There's Saito's voice. Iba nodded plainly in response.
君も今日に来たんだ。ま、死なない程度に気をつけなよ。
Oh, who is this? That's Gara, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. Don't be stupid or die or something. Oh my gosh, Okita is the greatest.
助言ありがとう。覚えておきます。
じゃあ、今度飲みに行くか。なんなら今からでもいいんだぜ。
Each of the captains surrounded Iba and exchanged words. What?
Why does Nagakura sound like his recording equipment is slightly lower quality?
I hear that too. That's hilarious.
Maybe it is remotely due to COVID or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Most of all, Iba seemed lost in the amount of fun he had while conversing with everyone. I guess he really knew everyone back in Edo. Hijikata watched their interaction with warmth in his eyes and muttered.
See, despite him being a Hatamoto, and also the heir of the Iba dojo.
Oh, we got our man here, the eldest son of the eldest son of one of the oldest and most respected dojos in Japan. He is a master of the Kyoto Ryu martial arts, and his prowess granted him prestige among warriors and officials. Heck yeah.
Hello, Owen.
Hi, Owen. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Hello. I love you very much. I hope you're doing well.
He chose to learn about each and every one of us, and he treats us with respect. It seems no one can escape his amicable nature.
He seemed to be especially fond of Hijikata, though. Oh, the ship!
But I couldn't dare say that.
I'll just write about it in my journal.
Heck yeah, I'll make fan fiction about it.
Yeah.
Same brain.
Well, I guess you can say we're friends. Whenever he visits, be sure to let him in.
I'm sorry, the way this is written.
I guess you could say we are friends. Be sure to let him in if he comes here.
We're friends for now.
Understood. Oh boy. Okay, so let's change some of these again. Settings. Toggle voices. Okay, so we don't need Soji's, because you heard how he sounded like. We don't need...
Yeah.
I voice Saito, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I voice Saito, so we're turning that off. Heisuke, I voice, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Haruda, that was Doodle, right?
I think so.
Yeah, Doodle was Haruda. We're gonna leave it on.
Me.
Sanan?
Was also me. Have we met Yamizaki?
I don't think we've met him yet. Or no, we did. We met him. I don't remember who voiced him. Remember, we saw him for like one scene.
I don't think it's not on my list, so I don't think.
Yeah, I'll just leave it.
Yeah.
I'll leave it on then.
Yeah.
We're leaving Iba on. I think everybody else is like not people we've been really voice acting.
Yeah, we haven't heard the rest of his voice acting yet.
Yeah, so let's go back, and hit OK. Okay. There we go. Before we knew it, evening had come and Iba told us it was time for him to depart. Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, boomer.
Okay, boomer. His face seemed reluctant, if not a little forlorn, and he left the compound. Dang, see, I miss him already. I stared at him as he walked into the distance, until a small figure was removed from my eyes. Iba was a mysterious person. Even if he was someone very important in upper class, he acted with integrity and kindness, commanding a lot of respect for the captives of the Shinsengumi. I did not think there was a samurai like him in the shogunate. Oh, we got his warrior record! Let's go! I guess we didn't need to do all that other stuff to meet him. I was wrong.
Lied.
I lied. I mean, we did miss some points, but we also missed points with other people as well from the start because of the choices we made, but yeah, that's how this game works. After the fight at the inn, I was able to leave the compound much more often. I suppose after what I'd done, Hijikata thought I earned a little more trust. I didn't feel like I did anything extraordinary, but I was about to look a gift horse in the mouth. I was genuinely happy that the man Hijikata approved of me. On this particular day, I was out on patrol with Haruda and the 10th Division. Excuse me, Haruda? The Shinsengumi is out patrolling day and night, right? But what exactly is it that you do? Most of the men in the Shinsengumi were intimidating, death-dealing titans, but Haruda was a rare exception, warm and friendly. They're basically like an early version of the police. That's what they are. People who don't pay for food? It wasn't really the answer I expected. I guess the Shinsegumi's job is closer to a magistrate's than I thought. Thinking back, I remembered how excited they were during the raid. What they did at the end was far more intense than their day-to-day work. A little further down the road, a couple of men in Shinsengumi blues were waving at us. Nagakura! I guess our separate rounds brought us to the same spot.
Hey there, Chizuru. You find anything about your dad?
I now can't stop thinking about the fact that his voice is so different to everybody else's. Oh my god. No, nothing today.
Ah, come on, cheer up. There's always tomorrow, right?
Yeah, you're right. There was something contagious about his optimism.
で、シンパチ、そっちはどうだ？何か異常でもあったか？
Like every time his voice comes up, I should just switch to phone and like, use that mic.
Yeah, you just use that mic instead.
No, nothing in particular, but all of the people on the street are acting busy, you know.
I hadn't noticed it before, but he was right. They were acting strange, almost nervous. Yeah, it looks like they're getting ready to move.
戦火に巻き込まれる前に今日から避難し始めてるってとこか。
What war? There wasn't a war, was there?
Oh yeah, we didn't tell you that yet, right?
I think that's so funny. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you
By
about
the
the
way,
war.
they're in the middle of a war. Yeah. Well, those Chosu bastards are showing up around Kyoto again, hence our extra rounds.
池田屋の件で長州を怒らせちまったからな。あいつらの仲間から犠牲が出ちまったし、黙ってやらないんだ。
Yep. Were the Chosu going to try something again?
Beats me, kinda hard to tell at the moment.
どっちにせよ、俺たちは俺たちの仕事をする。長州の連中が今日に来ても追い返すだけさ。
There's no war in Ba Sing Se.
I actually played a one shot of Avatar role playing game yesterday. It was really
Ooh.
fun. Where we're in Ba Sing Se, so it's coincidentally.
Heck yeah, that's cool that that exists. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun.
They accepted their situation and never complained. I had a good deal of respect for Harada and Nagakura.
If they don't back off soon, we're probably gonna be getting new orders all the way from the top.
Do you think the Aizu will give you all orders?
Yeah, they might ask us to join as part of the official shogunate troops.
そんな機会めったにないからな。せっかくだからお前も出てみるか。
It's a pretty cool headband. Yeah.
What? I was perplexed by his sudden invitation. Does this mean I could march as a member of the Shinsegumi? It seemed rather inappropriate for me to ask to participate just for curiosity's sake. Still, I very much hope to be helpful in some way. Could I perhaps do something like what I'd done at the Ikeda Inn? However, there's also a chance that I'd become a hindrance as opposed to helping them out.
Oh man. Let's go to war.
No. Just double checking. What do you want to do? This is up to you.
So far we've been playing her as pretty active. But I don't know. Seems like a big jump.
I can't believe Azure's stealing the headband.
we could do it though.
Yeah, I remember in my playthrough I stayed behind for this one because
Let's try going there.
Because my thought process was this. So first off, Chizuru is like, this doesn't really go for finding my dad, you know?
Yeah.
She's kind of just like it wouldn't help her finding her dad. It would just be helping the Shinsegumi. And she's not even sure if she could do much for them anyway.
Yeah.
As a member. But
could go with the opposite
also Okita is also staying behind at the moment because he's injured.
Oh.
So that was my other part of the thought process.
Oh, that changes things.
So,
Just my first instinct was to say stay behind. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna leave the final decision to Azure. Azure,
Alright.
are we going or are we staying?
It's your fault, Asher.
Who are you? I'm Jody. No, I'm me. She says. Amazing. Oh, going where? To the movies to talk
war.
To war. Are we going to war or are we staying behind?
Maybe seeing our man.
Go to war.
Alright,
I
war it
guess
is.
we're going to war, guys. Bring me back ahead. Heck yeah. My mind was made up. I nodded to Harda. I want to help. I would like to participate and help in some way.
Azure's always after some head.
Yep.
もしその時が来たら、お前も参加できるよう俺も応援してやるよ。
Okie doke. Several days later. Excuse me. I carefully lifted the serving platter with tea for the captains and made my way to the common room.
すまねえな。ありがとうよ。
What would my occupation be?
I don't know. I guess I would still be...
I'd probably be a coal miner.
Why do you say that?
Just pick something shitty.
I would want to be like a mask maker or something.
Heck yeah. I don't know.
No, probably like an accountant or something, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like...
I mean, what could women do during these days?
You could marry a samurai and learn how to use naginata.
Heck yeah, that would be cool. I guess I would probably learn how to play music, like different instruments and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Become a musician.
And also be forced to marry somebody.
Alright, where were we? Oh, it's me. Okay. Thanks, Chizuru. Man, it's like you're our servant or something.
I mean, well, I was a page as far as everyone knew. Thought to correct him crossed my mind, but instead I stayed silent as I passed the tea out. There's Inue's voice. Oh, it's nothing. After all, I am Hijikata's page. It spoke barely above a whisper, but Inoue smiled and nodded at me. Okita took a sip of his tea with a mild grimace, and a mild grimace flickered across his face. Is something wrong with the tea?
The taste is fine, but it could be a little hotter. Maybe you're taking too long to pour it. But I guess I can expect this from you.
I'm sorry, I'll make a new batch right now. Oh wait, yeah, this is me. Don't worry about it. I like it lukewarm. I can drink it immediately, right, Hajime? Sure, right. I guess lukewarm tea isn't bad on a hot day like today. Wow. It was silent for a second before the door slid open and Kondo arrived with a stern look upon his face.
Oh man, this guy.
Yeah.
Also recognize this voice, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. It was so loud.
That was amazing. That was
Just
so
blew out
good.
the fucking speakers.
That was so good. Yeah.
What the hell?
microphones recording that.
You just imagine just record on like a Zoom call and like every voice actor at once just shouted at their top of their lungs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
ついに会津藩も我らの働きをお認めくださったのだな。
He looked just as happy with the news as the rest of them. Apparently getting orders directly from the Aizu domain was an occasion for some excitement. Hijikata, however, was the lone exception.
We don't have time for this shit. Stop patting each other on the back and get moving. Need to go now. Chozu already in Kyoto. We can't let them gain the upper hand on us.
As Hijikata rebuked the men, the warriors all scattered sequentially to their stations. When it was only the captains and myself remaining in the room, Hijikata vented.
What, so only when the Chozu attack Kyoto is everyone ready to go? This is bullshit.
Thinking back at what happened at Akita Inn, while the Shinsegumi were fighting hard, the Aizo domain was elsewhere and came strolling in way later at the scene. Remembering that incident, I feel like I can understand Hijikata at least to some extent.
What was he like again? Okita and Todo, you will remain at headquarters. I doubt you'll like it, but well, neither do I.
Yeah, see, they're all staying at headquarters while this is happening.
Your injuries keep you from active duty, as do mine.
He rubbed his left arm absently and looked away.
Hey, speak for yourself. It's not like my injuries didn't recover or anything. But I guess I'm not with 100% either, so if you're telling me to sit this one out, I will.
You're making a big deal out of nothing. This is just a scratch. Kondo's being a wuss. Okita acted as if he didn't hear Sana at all while Heisuke pouted.
大した怪我じゃないとか嘘つくなよ。昨日も傷口に薬を塗られて悲鳴上げてただろ。
Wow. You son of a bitch! Why you gotta rat me out? Is there even a heart in there, you old bastard?
だが悲鳴上げたってのは本当なんだろう？なあ。
Hey, don't ask her. It'd be nice if you could keep your mouth shut for once, you know. He glanced sideways at me. But Heisuke, it's true that your injury hasn't recovered. His bangs hid the scar rather well, but it still looked painful. Nagakura broke the awkward silence.
Oh yeah, Chizuru, you said you wanted to go with us if we got called in, right? You still up for that?
Even though I told Haruta that I was into the idea of joining them, it still seemed a little risky.
おお、そうだな。こんな機会は二度とないかもしれん。
For
Well,
some
too late
reason,
now.
Kondo was easy to convince. I wasn't expecting him to be so easily swayed. What the hell if she's tagging along? Maybe it'd be a good idea for me to come along too, right?
You're still all out of shape though, right? You stay behind the compound.
よかったじゃねえか。
Are you sure it'll be alright? Hijikata and Sana sighed at the sight of my reservations, which was understandable.
We can't promise you won't get hurt, or worse. You should stay here. Do you wish to place undue burden on the Shinsengumi? We are not here to entertain you.
Colonel Sanan, can I take that to mean, so long as she is not a burden, she is free to accompany us? I blinked. Saito, standing up for me? Sanan seemed nearly as surprised as I was.
You can't be saying you're actually in favor of bringing her along?
Saito simply shrugged. She was an asset at Akita. I only intended to point out that, judged by her actions, she has hardly proven to be a burden. Never in a million years would I have imagined that Saito might have a word of praise for me. I mean, he did it before. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, when he tested you, he was also nice.
Yeah, like he's always
Though
been a
he
nice
like
guy.
bodied her, he's like, yeah, you have promised.
Yeah, like yes, he is a bit stoic, but he's a kind man.
Yeah.
My eyes grew wide with elation, and Kondo nodded in agreement.
よし、わかった。君の参加に関しては俺が全責任を持とう。もちろん
どこを希望するのであればだな。
Sanan still didn't seem convinced. I looked around the
Can't
room
back
until
out
my
now.
eyes met Okita's.
Do whatever you want to do, so long as you get that we're going into battle, not a party.
It looked like I wasn't about to get any help from Okita, who looked nonplussed either way. Perhaps I'd be able to help them out like I had during the Battle of Akita Inn. I nodded. Yes, I would like to participate.
Oh, so Okita is coming.
No, he's staying behind.
Okay, well, she said, like, maybe I can help him out, but I don't know.
No, she looked to him and he said you can do whatever you want. And so she was like, oh, okay. After that, everything was a blur. As quickly as we could, we prepared for battle and marched to the Fushimi Magistrate's office, a government office that supervised the Fushimi station at Kyoto Riverbank, which was one of the 7 entrances to Kyoto. There was a number of the Kyoto Judiciary Commissioner's men gathered there as well in preparation for battle with the Chosu. Walking proudly in front of the men, Kondo approached the government official near the gate. The 9th generation daimyo of the Aizu domain, he holds the position of Kyoto military commander.
Why is he wearing a nighttime outfit?
What? Oh yeah, that is interesting. I guess it's not really nighttime, it's just whatever they wear for when they're about to go into battle.
I guess. Or they just did want to draw a different sprite.
Yeah. Kanamori Matsudara was the lord of the Aizu domain and also the Kyoto military commissioner, which made him a very important person. His name would have been immediately recognized. The man standing near the gate looked slightly taken aback by the mention of the Shinsengumi. Uh-oh. No, that didn't make any sense. What? Perhaps sensing my confusion, Saito leaned over and whispered under his breath. If they haven't received notice of our orders, lines of communication are likely in disarray. Do you mean the Chosu is overpowering the shogunate's forces? Not necessarily. However, I do suspect the enemy to be doing well. This could be tricky. The Judiciary Commissioner and the Military Commissioner had similar organizations, but they operate very differently. The Military Commissioner's office was under the jurisdiction of the Aizu domain, while the Kuwana domain controlled the Judiciary Commissioner. Domain governed by Sadaki Matsudara Daira, the Kyoto Judiciary Commissioner. I didn't fully understand the relationships between each domain, but so far as I knew, the Aizu and Kuwana weren't quite fond of one another. A nickname given to the men who would later become the Shinsengumi. It was both a reference to their reputation and an alternate spelling of Miboro, meaning Ronin of Mibu. How terrible. And after they asked for the Shinsegumi's help, I felt Harada's hand on my shoulder and turned to look up at him.
Big beef. Oh my gosh, Asher.
Biggest of beefs, poor
so
Saito.
typical. It's like, yeah, we're losing the battle, but we don't want your help because our leaders don't like each other.
Yeah. But this is so galling. I wasn't truly a member of the Shinsengumi, but even so, after living with the Shinsengumi men and watching how they worked, I couldn't bear to see how they were treated, which is why this felt wrong to me. Everyone at the Shinsengumi has worked so hard to maintain peace in Kyoto. How could these people, who are supposed to be our allies, turn us away without a second thought? Oh. The Kawano would only need to complain that the Shinsengumi hadn't showed them proper respect to make trouble for the Aizu. All of the men, including Harada, understood what needed to be done and they endured. There's nothing we can do here, Chief. We should leave the magistrate alone and meet with the Aizu domain's men on our own. Saito's suggestion to Kondo was rudely interrupted by Takeda. Isn't this the same voice actor as Ronaldo Kuriki? Isn't this the same man that used the same man?
He's definitely very familiar.
No! No! I can't escape this man! I can't escape him! He's here! No! No, 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 no. I'm going to yeet him. I'm going to punch him. I'm going to kick him. I'm going to slam him into the ground. I'm going to suplex him. I'm going to throw him onto a table that's burning on fire. And then he's going to get thrown on it. And then he's going to land on some tacks. And it's going to stab him in the back. And then I'm going to yeet him into the sun.
Wrestling match? He also plays Roswell in ReZero.
Yeah.
That's what I know him from, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
戦場では伝令が交錯するものです。自ら動くなど愚の骨頂。今はこの場で待機すべきものと考えます。
If this location were a camp to which we were stationed, then maybe you'd be making sense. Unfortunately, it is not, and it would be wise for us to act in the best interest of the Shinsengumi. Oh my! Oh my god, I want to kill him.
I want to stab him. I want to stab him. I hate him.
I hate him.
We're gonna do his route, right?
No. No, no, no,
none.
no. There's no route, thank God, because I hate him. He sucks. He's the worst. I despise him. Yeet him into the sun. He's annoying. I love you the most, Azure. Cool it, buddy. Kondo nodded deeply as he glanced at Saito. Heck yeah. Punch that man in the face. And with that, the Shinsengumi set off to find the soldiers of the Aizu domain. Night had fallen by the time we arrived at Kujo Beach, a location near what is now referred to as the Kanjin Bridge on the Kamo River.
Your fisticuffs? Heck yeah.
After leaving the Fushimi Magistrate's office, we made for the Aizu Manor. Upon arriving, we relayed our previous encounter and asked for new orders. The manor official we met with directed us to go to Kujo Beach, which we did. However, Nagakura seemed to tolerate no more of this.
What the hell? He was the one who told us to come here, damn it! You wanna fuck us over? Fine. But you're gonna be disobeying a direct order from your superior, pal. You really wanna do that?
Heck yeah, Nagakura's standing up. The man flinched and shivered, then fell silent. Kondo did his best to assume a professional air, but there was no hiding his massive grin. At last, after a great deal of trouble, we were allowed to remain with the troops at Kujo Beach. The chief and the captains left the rest of us to speak with the Aizu commanders. They returned sometime later looking tired and drained. Inoue, who'd gone with them, also wore a bitter sort of half smile. One of the western gates of the Imperial Estate is protected by the allied forces of Aizu, Kawana, and Satsuma. They're treating the Shinsengumi like reserves?
Why the hell did they send us a message acting like it was some sort of emergency?
We can't predict what might happen. Battle may soon approach us. There is little to do but wait. So all we can do is wait. There was a chance that the call could come at night, so the men stayed awake, ready to act. Oh no,
I
I'm
think he's
fine.
just messing with you.
Yeah. I'm fine.
Hopefully.
Haruto laughed as I shook my head. It wouldn't be fair for me to be the one to sleep. Well, that's what she's worrying about. The man had to remain alert, anticipating that they could face death at any moment. Anxiety wrapped around me until I slept near dawn. The men, however, were vigilant through the night. Even as I drifted in and out of consciousness, I could see them nearby, persisting against the night. The break of dawn burned my eyes as I heard it. A cannon?!
Nani?
The crack of a gunshot tore through the morning air, and in the distance I heard men shouting and the clang of metal. The fighting had began. The captains looked at one another and nodded. It's time we left. I stared at him for a moment, perhaps not yet fully awake until I understood what he was saying. Right! With a quick nod, I readied myself to go, then...
Did you just tell me to stop?
Even during our lengthy march the day before, I've never seen Hijikata mad. Maybe because of his position as commander, he was afraid to express himself when his temper flared up, but it looked as if he reached his limit. Normally, he left the yelling to Nagakura and stayed patient when speaking with army officials. This time, however, he finally had enough.
I thought your job here was to protect the Imperial estate, but you'd rather sit on your fat ass.
Wow. Thank ya. Thank you for this definition.
No shit. We're here to stop those Chosu assholes from attacking. Tell me, what are those Chosu doing?
And so you're just gonna stand there? What? Can you imagine if that's how it was in war? Like, oh, we didn't receive any orders, so we just let the enemy walk right past us.
Well, you know, to be fair, it could also be like a trick or a trap from the enemy.
Yeah.
You have to wait for the commander to make a judgment call, but I also understand Hijikata being angry.
Yeah, Hijikata was in no mood for excuses.
If you've got any kind of pride in your job, then forget about your goddamn orders and move.
Without even waiting for a response, Hijikata spun around and stalked off, fuming. Where are we going? I didn't dare raise my voice above a whisper, but I asked Saito, who was walking near me. To the enemy, which in this case means Hamaguri Gate. Hamaguri Gate? You mean where Aizu's main force is protecting, right? The battle at the gate is likely to be an intense one. You'd better prepare yourself. Alright! Hijikata's fury seemed to rouse the Aizu's reserve, who up to this point seemed flustered by the threat of conflict, watching the Shinsegumi march. At the end, they followed the Shinsegumi to the Hamaguri Gate.
Somebody give this girl a spear.
Heck yeah,
It's
before
really
long.
good to have in a battle.
Yeah. Before long, we'd arrived. Now we have our sword. Oh my gosh. The gate was pockmarked with scores of bullets, and everywhere dead and dying soldiers littered the ground. The acrid stink of firearms hung in the air. Even though I tried to I tried to prepare
There's
myself
guns.
mentally for what lay before me, my heart shattered from the traces of war occurring ahead. I mean, basically, this era was like a turning point, right? Where it was kind of like a transition from the past, like, battles with swords and whatnot to the present, you know, guns.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a tumultuous time because of that, because you have, like, the people still doing the old ways, and then now there's these new weapons.
Yeah.
The enemy, however, was nowhere to be seen. We had arrived too late. The battle was already over. After a moment of stunned silence, several of our men were dispatched by Hijikata to determine what happened in Kondo's side.
天使様の御所に陥るなど長州は一体何を考えているのやっていることがよくわからんね長州は尊王派のはずなんだがな
Yeah. Kondo simply nodded. The Chosu define themselves as among those who revered the emperor, yet they attack his home? It didn't make sense to me either. Nevertheless, the damage was done. I was in the middle of pondering their reasons when Saito returned to me. It appears the Chosu attacked Hamaguri in the early morning, but were repelled by the combined forces of the Aizu and Satsuma. The forces standing against them were too much for the Chosu, who were forced to retreat. The corner of Hijikata's mouth curled into a grin.
So, Satsuma is helping Aizu now, are they? Times sure are changing. Considering their less than friendly past, it would seem the Chosu have become their common foe.
I was in the middle of pondering my orb.
The Satsuma and Aizu domains hadn't been on the best of terms. I thought they outsmarted the family domain and allied with the imperial court to expel foreigners, domain ruled by the son of the Tokugawa clan. However, I recall my father telling me that they were not much different than the Chosu. Unlike the Chosu, however, they'd gone to war with a foreign force and suffered a devastating loss. Following their defeat, I learned the Satsuma began to reconsider their nationalistic stance. However, these were only rumors, and what had come to pass had yet to be fully determined.
土方さん、公家御門の方にはまだ長州の奴らが残ってるらしいぜ。
The location now referred to as the Inoue Gate at Matsuyama Castle.
Oh, and there's Yamazaki.
There's a ninja.
Yeah, it's Yamazaki.
Ah.
When all of a sudden Anya type boy hit me over the head, stole my Pepsi, and called me a bitch.
Hijikata's expression changed as he considered Haruda's words, but before he could open his mouth to speak, Yamazaki appeared.
今回の御所襲撃の中心人物らが天王山に撤退しているそうです。
An important heavily traveled location in the southern part of Kyoto is adjacent to the Setsu province. Mount Tenya was located between Kyoto and Osaka. Supposedly they're in the middle of escaping from Fushimi towards Osaka. After hearing the report from both Haruda and Yamazaki, Hijikata contemplated deeply. Although Kondo was recognized as the formal head of the Shinsengumi, I learned from everyone that all major decisions were deferred to Hijikata. This was no exception, and I could see that all eyes were on him. He was silent for a few moments, and then I saw his mouth curve into a small smile.
Looks like our work's cut out for us, boys. Haruda, take your men to Kuge Gate and deal with the Chosu bastards.
はいよ。
Saito, Yamazaki, I want you to figure out what the situation is here. Hold Hamakuri Gate.
As you wish.
Your job's the tough one, Chief. I know this is a bitch, but I want you to speak with the Aizu bigwigs about a punitive expedition.
長州軍の追討だ。
Some of those bastards are headed for Tenno, but others will run around and cause trouble. If we're gonna go after them, then we'll need to leave Kyoto, and only you can get us those papers.
The Shinsengumi were entrusted with the protection of Kyoto, and if this war was for aiding the Aizu, then they had to do more than just guard the gate. Leaving our post, however, to chase after the Chosu troops meant that we needed permission from the military commissioner, meaning the Aizu.
なるほどな。局長である俺が行けば、きっと守護職も取り合ってくれるだろう。
After what we'd gone through the day before, I didn't imagine Kondo's task would be an easy one. Still, if the representative was anyone other than Kondo, the Aizu would be unlikely to grant the request, let alone entertain the notion of a meeting.
Jen, I want you to go with him. Somebody has to keep an eye on our chief, alright?
はいよ、任されました。
Another laugh ran through the soldiers, and Kondo's mouth twisted into a wry sort of grin. Perhaps he chose not to deny it because he knew he might go a little crazy.
The rest of you are coming with me to Tenno. As for you,
He looked directly at me. I wasn't a warrior, nor did I have political ties. Hijikata didn't know what to do with me. Suddenly I felt very much like dead weight.
can't go with Kondo, but other than that, it's up to you.
Alright. Hunter was meeting with the leaders of the Aizu. If I joined him, there would be nothing for me. I had many options for what I could do. Hijikata would be pursuing the leaders of the Chosu attack toward Tenyu Mountain. Saito would be staying at Hamaguri Gate to protect it and to gather information. Haruda and his men would be going to Kuge Gate to stop the attack on the Imperial State. Where are we going?
Oh no, where are we dropping, boys?
Yep.
So again, this is like who are we getting points with?
Yeah.
So if we go to Kuge Gate, we're going with Haruda. If we're going to Tenyu, we're going with Hijikata. If we're going to Hamaguri, or I guess staying at Hamaguri, we're staying with Saito.
Well, we gotta leave Hijikata to have his ship with the other guy, so
Heck
don't
yeah.
want to interfere.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah. I mean, it's all up to you.
Alright. Which one was Saito?
This one.
Alright. Let's do that one, maybe.
Okay. I decided to remain at the Hamaguri Gate with Saito. Before long, the rest of the Shinsengumi was gone, and it was time for us to begin our own mission. First, we must speak with the Ayazu on behalf of the Shinsengumi. In all the excitement, I completely forgot that the Shinsengumi were ordered to stay with the reserves. Instead, we chose to march to battle. Saito was probably right to try and smooth things over with the Ayazu as soon as possible.
よろしければ自分が行きます。上層部も混乱していますから、今回の我々の行動を咎めることもないと思います。
Okay, then I will leave that task to you, Yamazaki. Send word for me if you encounter any difficulty. Yamazaki bowed once, then turned on his heel and disappeared. Goodbye! The area near Hamaguri Gate was filled with warriors. I could see some men from the Aizu domain and perhaps some men from Satsuma as well. They appeared to be arguing over something. We'd been looking around the area to get the lay of the land when we sensed something unpleasant and went to investigate. That was when we found the confrontation between the Aizu and the Satsuma. What are they arguing about? I assume it is over who will take credit for this battle. How petty. Oh. The words were barely out of my mouth when one of Satsuma's men noticed us.
こんな者どもまで招集していたとは。やはり会津藩はふぬけばかりだな。浪人の手を借りねば戦うこともできんのか。
What? I could see the faces of the Shinsengumi stiffen, and more than one hand moved toward a sword. Saito, however, was as implacable as ever. Ignore them. You have a job to do. He swept his cool gaze slowly over the men, looking each man in the eye. They shifted restlessly, but their hands dropped from their swords. His face was bright red and his sword shook as he held it at the ready. If something wasn't done soon, that sword was likely to start spilling blood. Before anyone from the Satsuma could respond, a tall man stepped through them and out into the space between the two factions.
Don't say word for me, though. I just got this kimono.
With a yell, the soldier threw himself forward, raising his sword to anticipate a deadly cut. Saito dashed forward, almost too fast to see, and stopped before the charging man. Stop. He's far too strong for you. Oh, snap. Oh, snap.
怪我の治りが良くないのであれば、加減ができずに済まなかったと伝えてください。
It was you who defeated Toto then. Yes, I suppose that would fit. If Saito had even heard the man's apology, he showed no sign of it. I imagine the Satsuma sent you to the inn as spies to learn what the Chozu were planning. The man simply shrugged and tilted his head to the side almost quizzically. Saito took a step toward him. Oh, snap!
Oh shit.
Oh,
it's about to get cut in half.
Ah! The tip of Saito's sword was only a hair's breadth from the man's forehead. He drew it out so fast I saw no blur of silver as it left the scabbard. Unperturbed, the man glanced down at Saito. The Shinsengumi had its unfinished business with you. Maybe not today, but Toto will have his revenge.
今の私には君たち新選組と戦う理由がありません。
He replied as calmly as if he had been enjoying tea, if they had been enjoying tea together. Saito said nothing and his sword did not move. Was Saito really that angry? I could certainly see why he would have been, but this was not the time to settle grudges. Still, he was a tough man to read. What was I to do? Oh, frick.
I feel like generally Saito knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So trust him?
Yeah, I think so.
Saito was also well aware of his duties and was not the sort of man to allow emotion to compromise his decisions, as shown by his ordering his men to stand down after being grievously insulted. I didn't know what it was, but he had a plan. He must have somehow sensed my decision, because for a moment his eyes flickered to me and he smiled. Oh, points! Points! I have no interest in escalating this situation. Our goals are the same. However, we cannot overlook any further insults. If you persist, then the Aizu domain and the Shinsegumi will have no choice but to take action. The tall man from Satsuma nodded deeply. Saito returned the man's nod and slid his sword back into its scabbard. The Saitama men seemed displeased with how things turned out, but whoever the tall man was, none of them dared to speak out against him. Now I understood what Saito had intended to do. By forcing the Satsuma to apologize, he allowed the Aizu to save face. By directly confronting the issue, he had been able to avoid any bloodshed. Because the Satsuma man understood his intentions, he apologized. Regardless, I couldn't help but sigh, relieved that we avoided another pointless fight. He bowed deeply. A highly skilled individual connected to the Satsuma domain. He specializes in bare-handed combat, and he possesses power and skill above many members of the Shinsegumi. His introduction finished, he turned and walked slowly back through the ranks of the Satsuma, towering above them as he went. I'm pretty sure, so he's not a love interest, but he is kind of an important side character.
Okay.
Saito, you never intended to fight him, did you? There was a short silence. Saito looked coiled inside himself, staring in the direction Amagiri walked towards before speaking. I'd hoped that the display of my Ei would be enough to dissuade him, but it seems he saw right through my ruse. Huh? Saito practiced Ei, a sword style that focused on drawing a blade and striking in a single stroke. Amagiri made no attempt to dodge his blow. How would he have known that Saito intended to stop just before the blow landed? The Satsuma commands some very dangerous men. If they were not men of reason as well, we would already be dead. I wasn't sure if Saito was talking to me or himself, and before I could ask, he turned and walked away. We returned to the Hamaguri Gate to await Yamazaki's return, but there was little else to do. After that incident, there were no battles, however the tension remained unabated. Was it possible for the Satsuma and Aizu to find a common ground and coexist peacefully? It seemed like imagining such a world would be an impossible dream. The Chozu extremists' attempted attack on the imperial estate eventually came to be known as the Hamaguri Rebellion. The incident wherein the forces of the Chozu domain fought the shogunate and the Shinsegumi near Hamaguri Gate to regain power in the government after they were expelled. Another thing that if you look up, it's real! Although the Shinsegumi were called to action, their efforts were stymied and they found little in the way of glory. Communication with their superiors was poor at best, and they spent much of the battle waiting with the reserves. When the Shinsegumi finally entered the battle, each man found several strange opponents awaiting him. Chikage Kazuma, who defeated Okita and Akita, claimed to be from the Satsuma domain during his encounter with Hijikata. So if we went with Hijikata, we would meet him, and he is one of the love interests. A very skilled man with apparent ties to the Satsuma domain. His extreme strength and prowess with swords rivals that of even the best Shinsegumi swordsmen. But yeah, so he is a love interest. Amagiri, the man who shattered Heisuke's head guard of Akita, who claimed membership in the Satsuma. They also had met Kyo Shiranui, who'd fought alongside men from Chozu, a man with incredible skill. He is connected to the Chozu domain. His gunplay is very impressive, and it takes the Shinsengumi by surprise. This man is not a love interest. Another important side character. Whoever they were, it was clear they were not allies of the Shinsengumi. Indeed, it seemed they could easily become one of its greatest enemies. If they were to meet in open battle, the casualties would be severe. By the time the battle was over, the commanders of the Chozu attack had been killed in the fighting or took their own lives. There were some soldiers, however, who escaped, setting Kyoto ablaze as they fled. By some terrible misfortune, winds that day blew from the south and fanned the flames, reducing the southern end of the imperial state to ash. As a result of the Chozu attack, many imperial nationalists were executed. With the Hamaguri rebellion over, the Chozu were branded as traitors for attacking the estate. From then on, they were acknowledged as enemies of the court. A traitor to the court often used to refer to rebels. Dangsi.
Alright.
Has been released. I love that terminology there.
Yeah. It's unleashed upon the world.
Okay, now we're back. 1864. Summer had turned into autumn, and the Imperialists kept quiet. Despite my regular presence in the Shinsengumi rounds, no news of my father came in that time. Days passed peacefully, one after another. The leaves were dancing on the wind one evening as I buried myself with cleaning. Alright, almost done. Gradually, I'd been given more and more freedom to move around the compound. I was given a few duties to manage, and as long as I was doing them, I could go wherever I needed. On days that I can't go on rounds, I've been helping around at the compound.
Hey, Chizuri! Working hard, eh?
Oh, hello. I set down my work and turned towards him.
そろそろ日も暮れるし、適当に終わらせとけよ。
You're a real hard worker, aren't you? Every time I see you, you're doing something else. Are you on your way out?
Well, yeah. Duty calls.
Really? They weren't wearing their uniforms. That meant they weren't going on their rounds. Oh, I get it.
島原までちょっとね。朝には帰るから心配いらねえ。
Going out for some fun! We're just going for drinks, alright? That's it? Just drinking? We're not gonna, you know... It may be the red light district, but we're not doing that. Well, except for Shin, who's totally going for the girls.
Hey, come on! She didn't need to know that.
So you are...
Gah.
とにかくあとは頼むわ。土方さんが俺らを探してたらうまくごまかしといてくれ。
But what? They left me with a difficult task. Anyway, I need to go finish cleaning up the courtyard. It was almost time for dinner, and I wanted to be done before I had to eat. I was dumping out the leads I gathered when... Huh? I could hear some kind of commotion coming from outside the house. What is that? I quickly put the broom away and hurried toward the entrance. Gathered just inside the front gate were about 10 children. Standing in the middle of them was... Okita!
The hell? Oh, hey, Chizuru. Don't see you out here in front very often.
What are you doing? Who are these children?
Oh, don't worry, I didn't kidnap them, right?
Don't say that!
I was bored. I figured they could play with me.
I wasn't sure how to respond, but Okita grinned. So are they all your friends?
I guess you could say that. They take care of me.
Oh. Usually adults play with kids, not the other way around. Although, making kids play with him did seem like something Okita would do.
So, Chizuru, you wanna come play with us?
Oh no, I shook my head. Is it really okay for you to let children in here?
Depends on what you mean by okay. If Ichikata finds out, he'll probably flip his shit.
I think he will.
The Sanana used to know would probably be out here playing with us, but now I don't think he'd be too happy about it.
Doesn't that mean there's a pretty good chance you're going to get in trouble? He just grinned.
Probably. I think the others would probably get pissed too. You're the only one who let it slide, I bet.
then maybe you should send them home before you get caught.
俺たちのことに口出すなよ。どこで遊ぼうが勝手だろ。
What?
外野は黙っててくれよな。俺たちはそうだ。
Rudest children.
Yeah. It looked like they were awfully fond of him. Could I really just leave them alone, though? That didn't seem right either. I thought about it for a minute before I spoke. This is the headquarters of the Shinsengumi. It's a place for men to do, work. You really shouldn't be playing here. Well, No, but that's because they're out on patrol. They're catching bad guys and keeping Kyoto safe.
And you're playing with one of them, okay.
Yeah.
Can't deny that. Sometimes people don't do what they're supposed to, so every so often we've got off someone. But it's not like we just kill people for fun.
I wasn't sure what to make of his smile. Yeah. He's always talking about killing people. I probably hear him talk about death every day. To be honest, I don't have any idea how he really feels about it. Is killing people a big deal for him, or is it just something he does?
You might have a point.
Honestly, I kind of want to say it.
Same.
Honestly, I feel like it's also what Soji would want us to say too.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You might have a point. I guess you've got a point. I had to admit he was a little convincing. I don't think they're bad people, but they are kind of rough, I guess. I mean,
no, can't deny that either.
Yeah, well, based on what happened earlier, I couldn't deny that. Among the Shinsengumi, there are a few exemplary people, but I guess from the outside, they just knew how to attract trouble.
Well, Chizuru, don't tell me you're taking this seriously.
Well, I mean, the Shinsengumi is taking really good care of me. It feels wrong not to stick up for them, but...
What, just because they keep bringing up valid points and you can't figure out a good comeback?
Yes. Oh, he liked it!
Oh, Chizuru, you're way too honest to live here.
Getting called out. You don't have to laugh at me!
And you don't need to get so bent out of shape about it. I'm just teasing you. To be honest, I totally agree. I'm with the Shinsengumi 100%, but I'm sure can't blame people if they get the wrong idea about us.
I had to wonder if it was really okay for him to say things like that in public. He didn't seem to care at all, but that just made me more worried. No, that's not it at all. Try as I might, I couldn't just ignore them, even if they were children. Yes, I know a lot of them are kind of scary, but they're really not bad people. I don't think so.
Well, what about Hichigata? He always looks so serious. I'm not even sure he knows how not to frown. Or hey, Sanan. He looks pretty scary when he's not smiling.
Well, yes, but... he was siding with the children! I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Well, I can't say they're not scary, but, I was out of ideas. Kondo! The chief of the Shinsengumi, he's really nice. He's a good person. He wasn't just good compared to the rest of the Shinsengumi either. Anyone who meets Kondo instantly becomes charmed by his warm aura. But the children didn't seem convinced. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
It's losing argument to this couple of children. It's getting destroyed by fact and logic.
Yeah, but this is probably what's gonna tip Okita over the scales, because I don't remember much about, because as I said, I played this game a long time ago, so there's a lot I forgot. And there's of course new scenes too. But one thing about Okita is that he cares a lot about Kondo. Like, he looks up to Kondo a lot, almost like a big brother, you know? So if the children make fun of Kondo, he's probably not gonna take it very well. I'm already cringing. I'm already cringing. Yeah, these child are dead. I can't believe Soji's gonna kill them.
He was killing youngling.
What?
ニコニコしながら散歩してるの見たけどさ。
Oh my gosh. Soji's gonna be so mad.
なんか頼りない感じ。
Soji's gonna be so mad.
Oh no.
まだまともっぽそう。
Oh, he's just digging a grave for himself. Oh no.
He's gonna be so mad. I think there's more to being in charge than looking like you can fight. Was that really how Kondo looked to them?
女のが局長だから新選組はダメ
No! You guys are no! Please stop! 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 You're killing him! Stop it! Stop being so mean. You don't understand. I took a step toward them, but Okita held out an arm and smiled to me.
Well there, Chizuru. Calm down, okay?
Oh, but I think the real person
On the inside,
who
he's the one.
Yeah, he's the
very angry. They're only kids. You don't need to get mad. He's talking to himself.
But yeah, he's talking to himself. He's like, calm down, me. Don't get mad.
Don't murder children. Okay.
Okita. He didn't even seem to have heard me. He walked over to the children with a smile.
So what do you want to do? You want me to lift you up?
Uh-oh.
Like, drop them on
yeah,
their
he's
fucking
gonna like scare them half to death. I'm
Yeah.
scared.
それでいいよ。掃除って背が高いしさ。
Oh wait, actually, I think I remember that this scene was animated in the anime, and he does something that's kind of scary. He like scares this. He like scars this child. Oh no!
Good. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Really comes in handy sometimes.
Okita about to suplex the kid. Let's
He's
go.
gonna powerbomb this child.
He grabbed the child.
Upsy daisy.
Okita grunted with effort and lifted the grinning child up over his head. I had mixed feelings.
Isn't this fun? Being really high gives you a new perspective.
Please be careful with him.
Nope.
How long was he planning to leave him up there? It was starting to feel like quite a while.
あのさ、掃除。そろそろそいつ下ろしていいよ。
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Oh, come on now. No need to be shy. I loved getting picked up like this when I was a kid.
I saw realization dawn on the child's face, and excitement quickly turned to fear. Oh god. Chucks him into the sun. Yeah, he just like throws him. Yeet.
Happy enough to cry, hmm?
His voice was cold. Yeah. There he is. Oh my gosh. I love him so much. He's terrible, but I love him. Okita wasn't smiling anymore. I blinked. Why was I just watching?
Because you know the kid had it coming.
Yeah. Stop that. He's just a child.
Stop what? Chizuru, we're just playing.
That's not what it looks like.
What are you apologizing for? I was taught you're supposed to say thank you when someone does something nice for you.
And thus his reign of terror began. Heck yeah. Okita, you're scaring him.
許してよ、掃除。俺たちが悪かった。新
Nah, he's fine with you saying bad things about any of the other members. Just don't say anything about Kondo.
Yeah.
That was his tipping point. You hit the spot that you're not supposed to hit. Reluctantly, Okita lowered the boy back down. I tried my best to calm them down and then quickly sent all the children back home before Okita changed his mind.
So it's not like fucking drop him or something.
I thought you said they were your friends. Well, yes, but Okita... Okita very much seems like a person whose emotions haven't really developed past being a child. Like, he didn't really have, like, a proper childhood. And so now he's kind of, like, stuck in that premature state in terms of how he handles his emotions.
Makes sense.
It kind of seems like when that happened, it was like a child, like, throwing a fit, you know, at your... If that's true, you really shouldn't be bullying them like that.
Yeah, well, they made fun of Kondo. They don't know what they're talking about. Those kids have no right to say that stuff.
Yeah, that is true. But you went a little far.
Yeah.
You went a little too far. It was funny, but... So Hijikata is fair game, but he draws the line at Kondo. I suppose that shows just how much Okita cares about him. Yep.
Why are you laughing?
What? Oh, nothing. No reason. I mean, Kondo really is a wonderful man.
Yeah.
Aww. He smiled widely and nodded vigorously.
I was pretty happy you got mad, you know?
I was confused about how to respond to his pleased look. I hope you can make up with them soon. I mean, they did apologize eventually. I don't think they're really bad kids.
Don't worry, I'll tell them I'm sorry. Then I'll tell them how awesome Kondo is.
I smiled back at him. It cut both ways, but I admired Okita's honesty. The situation had been resolved more or less, but as I began to relax, I suddenly remembered. Oh! We're late for dinner! Come on, we have to hurry. They're probably all angry at us. Okita just laughed.
Don't worry about it. If you get in trouble, I'll back you up. I owe you one.
Okita enjoys teasing me and, well, everyone, and sometimes he can be really irritating. He's not a bad person. Sometimes in his own way, he's even nice. Seeing how much he cared about Kondo made him less intimidating. I was lost in thought and fell behind, so I hurried after Okita and headed toward the main hall. Aww. Aww. New town, who this? Is what the achievement I got. I love it. Oh snap, next chapter. Yeah. The dawn of the new year arrived. It was February of 1865 and we finished eating breakfast. I was carrying a plate full of tea and opened the door to the common room. Tea's ready. I made my way around the room, pouring a cup of tea for each person here, making sure not to spill. He gave me a warm smile as I handed him his tea. Thank you. I felt a flush of pride at his words, even though I knew quite well that serving tea was hardly impressive. Just the same, I felt as if I was helping out in a way, and that was a nice feeling. Then Hijikata spoke, and his words brought me back to the present.
Iyagi has been good to us so far, but this place is getting crowded.
Remember, they stated that it was the first headquarters of the Shinsengumi. It's not gonna be our only headquarters.
I see. If we could get a bigger place, that'd be great. Some of the guys in the dorm look stiffed.
I can't believe I came up with the achievements for this game, says Azure.
あれじゃ疲れが取れねえだろうし、なんとかしてやりてえよな。
Easy for us to say, but imagine trying to find who else was willing to let us stay at their place. I mean, we we are Kyoto's most hated.
The person sitting beside Kondo pointed at the map spread upon the table.
西本願寺というのはどうかしら?
Who the heck is this guy?
Who the fuck?
Another name for the Jodo Shinshu Hongwanji Temple in Kyoto. It allowed the Shinsengumi to make the temple their headquarters for a period of time.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have this guy's voice now.
I hate it.
数百人の大使が寝起きできるほど広い場所なんて他にないでしょ。それにあの場所ならいざという時も動きやすいと思うのだけど。
This man was named Kashitaro Ito, recruited by Heisuke a few months ago as the Shinsegumi's military advisor and deputy commander. He developed his notoriety teaching Hokushin Ito in his dojo, and he is known for his scholarliness, a sword style that was popular in Edo during the Bakumatsu period. Thanks for that. That was really helpful.
長州老師をかくまっていたこともあると聞きますわ。我々が西本願寺に移れば、老師たちは身を隠す場所を一つ失うことになります。
Wow, this man is totally, absolutely wrecking. What's his name? I don't remember his name. The guy that I hate, Ronaldo Kuroki, but in the past.
Kanryusai Takeda.
Yeah. Kondo seemed very impressed by Ito's suggestion, but a silent voice of protest arose.
You don't think it's somewhat uncouth to use force against men of the cloth?
Ito's brow twitched as if disturbed by the idea, and he faced Sanan directly.
自社を隠れ蓑にして好き勝手な振る舞いをしていたのは長州老師の方ではなくて、今日の治安を乱す不逞老師に配慮して差し上げるなんて、三男さんお優しいこと。
Poor Sanan, honestly.
Yeah.
Ito's deflection of Sanan's words left a bitter taste in everyone's mouth, including Sanan.
I agree that this imperialist, extremist imperial nationalist party must be dealt with, but this seems...
Like, no worries about tripping over that. I probably would have tripped over that too. That's a mouthful
yeah,
right there.
Sentence, yeah.
Who the heck is this? Who's this? What is... This isn't a love interest. This is some new guy that I also don't know. Who the heck is this?
So many men.
Yeah, what the heck? Hold up. I need to see. Okay, yeah, we got these men. We got Hachiro Iba over here.
Still two more I haven't even met.
Oh shoot, I hit the wrong... Now I have them confused because yesterday I ended up, like, having to mess up the ones that I've been doing. Because for some reason it was flipped while I was playing Pokemon Black 2. It was A to go back and B to select something.
Ah.
And it messed me up so many times. And now I'm messing up here, but for the opposite reason. But yeah, we did meet Ryoma and I hated him, but we haven't met Kazue Soma at all. But yeah, and technically we haven't met Chikage either. But he exists, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, out of the new guys, the new routes, Iba is probably my favorite so far from what it seems.
Yeah.
Wait, we should check all of these, actually. So we got clothes for Hijikata, of course. Budding for Okita. Budding for Saito. Clothes probably for everyone else, I'm betting. Because we haven't really gotten any for them, really. Okay.
Yeah.
Okie doke. I don't know.
やあやあ我こそはって名乗りを上げて正々堂々とやるべきだとでも言うつもりか。不定老子どもがそんな鎌倉武士みたいなご作法に付き合ってくれりゃいいがな。
サブロ、口を慎みなさい。
What? Why? What's the darling? That I didn't hear that at all from the Japanese. What the heck?
No.
Oh, but new ship though? The other man beside Ito was Saburo Miki, who joined at the same time as Ito. Allegedly, he was Ito's younger brother. Oh, wait, never mind. Never mind. Very quickly, never mind. Captain of the Shinsengumi Side Division. He is Kashitaro Ito's younger brother. They joined the Shinsengumi together. Never mind. Never mind.
皆さん、ごめんなさいね。この子は昔から口が悪くて。
Why are like family names different?
Yeah, that is weird. Maybe it's like, but it said brother by blood. I don't know.
Weird.
三男さんもお気を悪くなさらないでくださいな。あなたのような方も新選組を大きくしていく上では必要だと思いますし。
Oh my gosh, Azure! Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
You're right. He does look very similar to him. I forgot his name. Yeah, the first Devil Survivor game, we had like a guy who also kind of had like a snake-like face, who was like our cousin. And it was like revealed that the main character was like Abel, and he was like the reincarnation of Cain or whatever.
Ah.
Was kind of interesting.
たとえ左腕が使い物にならなくとも、その才覚と学識はタイのために大いに役立つはずです。
Wow, just rubbing it in. Rubbing it in. I watched his son bit his lip, an act of restraint to Ito's sour words. The tension was cut by another voice.
Perhaps I didn't hear you correctly, Ito.
Hijikata's voice was cold and sharp, like the sound of a blade sliding across a whetstone. Ito seemed taken aback and his eyes grew wide.
So non-smart, like you said. But above all, he is a swordsman of the Shinsengumi. He is not useless, and he is not replaceable. Get it through your head.
Hijikata only spoke when necessary, so it must have been something he truly believed. However...
But my arm is...
He couldn't even bring himself to finish. It seemed as though Hijikata realized his words were reminding Sana of what he used to be, causing Sana to curl his lips into a frown.
私としたことが失言でしたわ。三男さんは皆さん方の大切なお仲間ですもんね。仲がよろしくて結構なことですわ。新たに入隊した大使たちも同じ気持ちでいてくれるといいのですけど。
Hijikata's eyes seethed with anger towards Ito. Kono tried to relieve the tension by stepping in and clearing the air.
とりあえず、トンショ移転の件に関しては、もう少し話し合ってから決めるということで。伊藤さん、この後お付き合いを願いますから、先ほどの件についてもう少し詳しい話をお聞きしたいので。
ええ、喜んで。
Seeing the two get up, Takeda followed right behind them.
近藤局長、私もご一緒して構いません。
This man just never stops. He keeps getting like beat down, and he keeps getting back up.
Wants to be important.
Yeah.
ぜひ君も伊藤さんの話を聞いて。
Get wrecked.
戦組幹部といえど、剣術ばかりではいかんからな。これからは広い視野と深い知識を身につけねばな。は。
Kono left the common room with Ito and Miki, however, who still sat before us. Oh wait, with Ito and that was weirdly written.
Sentence was wrong. Yeah.
Ito and Takeda. Miki, however, who was still in front of us. That's what it should have said.
Yeah.
He smirked coldly towards us and he slinked off to leave the common room. More people I want to beat up. Okita spoke once Miki's footsteps weren't audible.
Ugh. Who brought those bastards into the Shinzangumi? The culprit is still in Edo. Damn it, Heisuke. When he gets back, I'm gonna give him a few punches.
I mean, they're probably like spies or something. Like, I wouldn't trust them. But Heisuke is an idiot, so that's coming from me.
Well, nationalists think themselves to be above the Chosu or whatever it's worth. I mean, the Imperial Nationalist Party is... Well, just listen to the bullshit he was going on about the other day. It seems as though he is rubbed off on Kondo as well, which is a poor influence in my opinion. Well, Kondo's a kind person. He's easily deceived by silver tongues. Those who appear virtuous, those are real scumbags.
Eventually, Hijikata approached Sanan, who weakly hung his head, facing the floor in shame.
Sanan, don't listen to that asshole, okay?
Sanan laughed dryly and shook his head.
He is well educated and skilled orator. Not only that, he's good with the sword. With such a gifted deputy commander, I suppose the Shinzangumi has little need for a colonel. Hey, Sanan.
Sanan left the room as Hijikata's voice trailed behind, echoing in the hall. No, you, Azure. Get the table, Anya. We're putting people through it. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. What? But why?
I can't blame him. No matter what you say to him, he takes it the wrong way. No matter what you say, he acts like a smug smartass, so the warriors are intimidated and want nothing to do with him.
Oh no, poor Sanan. Even though I haven't been here as long as the captains, I knew Sanan was so well liked by the other warriors before his injury.
Hey, Hijikata, can't you come up with some bullshit excuse to kick Ito out? Ever since they arrived, it's been nothing but bad vibes and sour moods. You know damn well I cannot do that. I mean, look at the way Kondo fawns over Ito. Besides, he brought a large force of men behind him when he joined. You think they won't make a stink if he were to just disappear? Well, damn, aren't you supposed to be the demon? Commander from hell? You're supposed to make the impossible happen. Fine, Soji, how about we make you commander, and then you can kick Ito and his guys out, right? Hell no, that's way too much trouble.
The consensus was that Ito was not to be trusted, and it seems no one spoke in his defense. Only one during all of this quietly sipped his tea. Saito quietly looked up at me as I poured more tea into his cup. So what do you think about Ito? I mean, about Ito joining, that is. As an organization grows, it will expand to include people who have differing ideas and points of view. So then, however, if one attempts to force this sort of diversity, then the organization would begin to rot from within. His words hung in the air, a dark omen for the future of the Shinsengumi. It was a
I feel that.
Yeah. It was considerate of Ito to join, but his presence seemed to be a recipe for dissension, if not outright disaster. The setting sun glowed through the windows with a warm, rich maroon, an ominous kind of beauty. It's cold. I came out into the yard and my body stopped due to the cold. Yes, spring will take a while. I wasn't too fond of Ito, but it was Sanan and his condition that truly worried me. I really wished his arm would just heal. That arm, or perhaps more accurately, the lack of it, was the source of his change in personality. Still, it was nice as it would be for Sanan's arm to simply start working again. That seemed like the stuff of a child's fable, not real life. That was when I remembered.
If push comes to shove, he'll have to take it. I don't think Sanan's going to give up. Don't jinx him, Soji. It's gonna look bad if officers start joining the Furies.
Okita was talking about the Shitsugumi having some secret serum back in the day. Judging from how they spoke of it, it's an item with circumstances, and I was not to know about the existence of that serum. If I were to look into it without approval, there was no doubt that I'd be punished, but I'm the daughter of a doctor. I'm pretty sure I had more knowledge on medicine than the men of the Shinsengumi did.
Investigate.
Wait. I'm gonna save real quick. Did I save? Can't remember.
I think so.
Here we go. So investigate.
Yeah. Do stuff.
I'm going to muster the courage to look into this, but where should I investigate? My room is in the Yagi house. There are some rooms that I am not allowed to enter, but the captains live here as well, and I'd finally learned how to navigate the building. However, there was another building that was part of the headquarters for the Shitsugumi, aside from the Yagi house. Some of the leaders, along with other warriors, live in the Maekawa house, diagonal from Yagi, and Sanan, who's injured, has been holed up in the Nambu residence, located behind Yagi. Located at the back of the Yagi residence, Sanan takes refuge here after suffering injuries and is later used to hide other furies.
Spoilers.
Yeah. It's so funny how some of these literally just spoil some story elements.
Yeah.
Since it's his residence, one cannot just stroll there casually, and since it is barely used by anyone other than Sanan, it's a little isolated. If there are secrets being kept at me, then they have to be kept in a place I'd never think to check. If I were to look into it, it would either be in the something or the forbidden areas of the Yagi residence. Where should I look into?
I guess Nambu house, right?
Okay, I'm gonna save again. Saving. Okay, so Nambu. Once I was quite sure everyone in the Yagi house was asleep, I made my move. So far, so good. Luckily, I was able to get to the entrance without anything happening, and I sighed with relief.
What's so good so far?
He's stalking us! The surprise of seeing someone froze me.
Aren't you a little bold one, Trying to run away behind our backs?
Okita, well, I'm not.
You sure about that? You are literally in front of me, sneaking around at night. How can I not assume you're escaping?
I've literally been living here this whole time. Look,
like
well,
a fucking year.
It's not like that. How was I supposed to explain to him? The more I panicked, the more I choked up.
I'm just messing with you. I mean, unless you were sleeping, then I'd slit your throat.
Sleeping?
Or unless you were escaping. Yeah, where is it? I think I'm just tired.
No, it's fine.
Thinking of sleep. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I mean, how the hell could you possibly survive all by yourself out there anyway?
I mean, I've done it. I literally was fine before.
Travel all this way.
Yeah. And I also made my move by robbing them blind.
I can't believe Azure has done this. You're right. He was right. Even if I somehow managed to escape the Shinsengumi, I would lose my best chance at finding my father.
Well, whatever you're doing, knock it off. Kids shouldn't play around in the middle of the night. You don't want to get yourself killed because of something you didn't do, right?
Yeah, maybe Okita was right, and it was reckless of me to investigate the serum, and thoughts swirled in my head before Okita spoke up again.
Well, if you see something scary, just make sure you scream right away, alright? Don't try to deal with it yourself, okay? You understand what I'm saying?
Huh? He sounded rather serious for a moment. Because he is being serious. What do you mean by something scary? What could I run into in the Shinsegumi's headquarters that could be as scary as he thinks? He looked almost surprised for a moment, his face breaking into a wry grin. He probably didn't even mean to tell us this. But he was, I guess, worried enough that he wanted to say it.
Yeah. Oh, you know. Like a nightmare or a ghost or something. Or hey, who knows? You might run into our commander, the demon.
That does sound scary. If Hijikata found out that I was walking around the compound without permission. I'm going to go back to my room now.
Good girl. It's wisest to go to sleep. I'll just go finish patrolling the inner courtyard then.
Okita started to hum as he walked away. I didn't expect to be found, especially by Okita of all people. There was no way I could sneak into the Nambu house behind his back. Maybe I could investigate the Yagi house before going back to my room. Wait. I was so surprised I hadn't stopped to think. Why was Okita up so late? It was as if he expected someone to leave the Yagi house, but there's no way he could have known I would try. If not me, then who? It was night at the Yagi house and dead silent. I tiptoed down the halls as quickly as possible. Huh? Were my ears playing tricks on me, or did someone just walk into the common room? I would be in trouble if someone saw me, so I did my best to blend into the shadows and hide. After a few moments of heart-pounding seclusion, my curiosity got the best of me. I departed my hiding place and crept toward the common room. I peered inside. Inside was Sanan. I wonder why. Something felt wrong. I just stood there. What is Sanan doing here late at night? I was at a loss. Should I speak to him, or before I could make up my mind, he turned.
I never thought it would be you who would catch me. How unexpected.
Sanan gazed directly at me and muttered.
You're there, aren't you, Yukimura? Come out.
I guess he spotted me. I gave up and made myself visible to Sanan. I'm sorry if it seemed like I was snooping or watching what you were doing.
Well, I don't plan on scolding you. I mean, if you see a suspicious shadow in the middle of the night, of course you'd be curious.
It was very subtle, but I noticed something was off in Sanan's attitude. He had a peaceful smile, something I hadn't seen for what felt like ages. It was a bit too peaceful, as if his worries had suddenly left him. It was an expression I have never seen since he'd gotten injured. Sanan, did something good happen?
Why, yes, something did.
As you're
I just got laid.
Oh, heck yeah.
Also, as you're saying, Yukimura, now I'm not here,
eats popcorn.
Or rather, I guess I finally made up my mind.
Something swished in his hand. Sanan, what is that?
You're wondering what this is, I imagine.
After his cryptic reply, he showed me what was in his hand. Sanan was holding a small bottle made from fine Idro. Oh, refers to glass, also called poppin'.
Okay.
The glass was filled with a crimson liquid that looked like a poisonous chemical to me.
This is a secret treatment developed by your father, Kyoto, under orders from the shogunate.
What? The shogunate ordered my father to do something?
They say it first appeared out west. The contents of this tiny vial can utterly transform a person.
What do you mean by utterly transform?
To put it simply, it makes them stronger and heightens their recuperative abilities.
It sounds like something out of a fairy tale. If such a thing were to truly exist, the serum would be considered a miracle cure, but...
There is, however, a rather serious flaw.
His smile twisted only a little.
I suppose you could say it's too strong. It worked as advertised but drove its patients mad. You've seen the results yourself, haven't you?
Ah! Of course, I'd seen the result of that madness the night I first met the Shinsengumi. Okito and Sayo had killed off that monster with the white hair.
Your assumptions are correct. Yes, those warriors who met were of that ilk. They were no longer capable of what one might call rational thought, and were little more than bloodthirsty monsters.
His words brought a sharp chill down my spine. How horrible.
If they lose control over whenever they see blood, then they're hardly much use in battle, aren't they? As unkillable as they might be. Kyoto conducted experiments on the corpse during the development of this treatment.
No. My father conducting experiments on human beings that made them go mad at the sight of blood? I couldn't believe it. No, I didn't want to believe it, but there was no reason for Sanan to lie either. I saw it before my very eyes. Then did father really? Sanan shrugged off my disbelief and continued.
Unfortunately, when he disappeared, his research was put on hold. This vial here represents the fruit of my own personal research based on what he left behind.
He smirked and shook the bottle gently. The liquid inside sloshed from side to side, almost lazily.
I've diluted it as much as possible.
I had so many questions to ask him, but I didn't even know where to start, so I simply spoke the first thing that came to mind. If you drink that, will you be okay? So that serum will prevent you from going mad?
To be quite honest, I'm not entirely sure. I've never tested it on anyone.
His smile faded.
If I take this, my arm will heal, assuming of course I've mixed it correctly.
You mean you're actually considering taking it? He had no guarantee that it wouldn't simply kill him outright, and even if he did survive, it might well drive him insane. Sanan, please reconsider this. I'm sure there's some other way. You don't need to rely on this.
I have no choice. This is the only way to heal this damn arm. I'm already useless here. Even the men have begun to speak ill of me behind my back. You will never understand me. I came all the way to Edo alongside my comrades, whom I thought were behind me. And now I'm left here given a position out of pity and left to wallow in my own uselessness.
How could you say it's pity? You're a leader here. The Shinsengumi respects and needs you now more than ever. Sanan's eyes dotted with melancholy, flashing a brief smile that entertained the idea behind my words.
Ah yes, I remember it well. I'm a swordsman of the Shinsengumi, yes. I'm not useless, right?
Sanan seemed bitterly focused on the words Hijikata said earlier. They really did affect him.
There's no life for me as a swordsman. You're asking me to continue in some sort of undeath. Let me die as a person as well.
No!
It's not decided that it'll fail. The odds against success aren't as terrible as you might think.
Sanan smiled as he said that, but there was no way to know what might happen to him. Considering the worst that could happen, I couldn't sit by and allow him to do this. So, remember what Okita said.
Yeah, so if we scream, he's gonna come running over.
Yeah. Which, honestly, this is probably one of my favorite moments in the entire game, in that...
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times with a lot of dating sims, the choices are very obtuse, you know? Like, you don't really know whether the choice you're making is the correct one or not. Because it's so vague and unhelpful, and the story is unhelpful. But this is one of those times where if you were just paying attention, you would know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Which is what I like.
Yeah, I don't think he can be persuaded. It's not by us.
Yeah. So, Scream.
Yeah.
Sanan came to hate himself for being unable to fight alongside his comrades and friends. Even if they forgave him, he never forgave himself. But...
I doubt you could understand.
was it the sort of thing only a fellow swordsman could comprehend then? How could I convince him to listen to me? It was then in that moment of helplessness that I remembered Okita's words.
Well, if you see something scary, just make sure you scream right away, alright?
Of course! Eureka! I just need to scream. I could never know what Sanan felt, but another man devoted to the story might. I screamed as loud as my lungs allowed, my voice echoing down the halls and across the courtyards of the compound. Okita! But even as I cried out, Sanan drew his head back and drained the vial in a single draught. No! With the soft clink of glass, it rolled from Sanan's palm to the floor of the common room. His face warped in pain and he collapsed to the floor. His head, oh my gosh, his hair began to turn white.
Gah.
It became clear to me that his pain was something no ordinary person could handle. Sanan, you have to hold on! Through his fingers, I saw his maddening eyes. Before me were the eyes that greeted me on that first night in Kyoto. Behind me, I heard the door slide open. Sanan looked behind me over my shoulder.
Okita, you. Good evening, Sanan.
It seemed like Okita didn't even look at me, his eyes completely focused on Sanan, then briefly the small bottle on the floor, before back to Sanan. Ayo!
Hey. Thanks for the heads up, Chizuru.
Okita, Sanan stared at Okita, his breast ragged in pain, like air struggled to stay in his chest.
Yes, she's right. The experiment was a failure. Okita, I hate to impose, but if you could... Yes, I understand.
His expression flashed into a familiar grin. Even after Okita drew his sword, it still didn't occur to me what was about to happen. The polished tip of Okita's blade was pointed directly at Sanan.
Don't worry your little head. It will be my pleasure to help you die. I'm glad to see you're quick to the task. It's expected from the sword of the Shinsengumi.
Sanan exuded calm at the sound of Okita's response. I held my breath, unsure if I wanted to see what was about to happen before me. Okita, you're not serious, are you? You aren't really gonna kill him, are you? My voice shook with disbelief, and Okita's eyes paid me no attention.
Knock it off. You aren't part of this, so keep your mouth shut.
But... wasn't Sanan his comrade? Or his friend? Everyone seemed to give their heart and soul to Shinsengumi, but not like this.
It's really annoying, you know? You think you're part of Shinsengumi?
He didn't even move, but his tone hit me like a slap. I've been living with them for so long that my initial fear almost completely disappeared. I felt like I'd found a place for myself.
If you've already forgotten, let me remind you. We only keep you alive because you're useful. You're not one of us.
His words shattered my already breaking heart.
Oh.
But just then...
Gah!
Sanan screamed in pain and I saw him kick the floor.
Oh snap. Did I blink and miss Keisuke becoming a bad guy? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he's now corrupted.
He drank the bad guy potion.
Yep, exactly. Also, Okita's just saying that to try and, like, deter us from, like, being a part of this.
He doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Then I heard a horrific sound, like meat being cleaved and resounding through the darkness.
Ugh.
Peeking over Okita's back, I heard the loud thud of a body collapsing on the floor, and around Okita's foot pooled the dark red puddle of blood. Sanan? I was tremble as I watched the blood trickle.
Stay away from him.
Okita's arm appeared in front of me, coldly. What? But why? I gave him a reproachful gaze, but he showed no signs of faltering.
Are you going to make me repeat myself? I told you to stay away from him. I subdued him for now, but I don't know what I did to him. Careful, he might still get up.
Huh?
What I did to him wasn't strong enough to kill him. Not after that he drank that stuff. He's not gonna die.
So, Sanan is still alive? Okita nodded bitterly, his body locked into a defensive position.
I just told you, he can't die like you or I can. So yeah, obviously he's still alive.
I was relieved from the bottom of my heart. Oh, thank goodness! This good news, however, didn't mean we could let our guards down. Sanan could lose his senses again and potentially mortally wound us. But for now, at least, Sanan is still alive. After Sanan collapsed, the captains rushed into the room. They must have heard the commotion from the common room. Everything glowed white after, and I realized that I was in a daze. None of their words stuck in my ear, and I wobbled back to my room.
Seriously, you can really be a pain, you know that?
Okita had taken me back to my room, and I heard him as soon as he opened the door for me.
Time for you to explain what went on last night. Why were you in there with Sanan?
Okita was never particularly pleasant to me, but his tone was even harsher than usual. It felt like there was someone in the common room. I was curious, so I had a look. I found Sanan in there.
I see.
Okita's lackadaisical response seemed disarming, and he just scanned me. Although my mind had cleared somewhat, it was still difficult to keep my thoughts organized. One, however, rose quickly to the surface. Is it true that my father had something to do with that stuff that Sanan drank?
Did Sanan tell you that?
Yes, he said it makes you stronger, but it drives you mad. He fixed his gaze wearily on the ceiling above us, sighing before eventually answering my question.
You are the daughter of the man who helped make that stuff. And you've seen what happens to the men who go crazy. I suppose you do have a right to know. It'd just be easier to just kill you, but well.
His manner of speaking was far removed than his usual joking self when he mentioned killing, but this time it felt like he meant it. He could kill me at any time.
So, you got any questions? I suppose I could answer one.
I desperately searched for the words. Why did the Shinsegumi get involved in something like this?
Our job is to crack down on outlaw Ronin, but you know that doing so isn't some walk in the park, right?
Yeah. Among the Ronin, there are plenty that are actually skilled swordsmen. When I was on rounds, I saw many such men fighting and dueling amongst themselves.
When we started out, we were really short on men. Our reputation was shit, and we couldn't pay that well either. Anyway, we didn't have that many people asking to join, and those that did were pretty disappointing. That was when some guy from the Shogunate showed up and offered to make us part of this experiment.
An experiment. That must have been what Sanan was referring to. So, you knew what the side effects were and you still made them take it?
We didn't make them take it, it was their choice. You see, the Shinsengumi has this thing called the Rules of Conduct.
Shinsengumi regulations that were to be strictly obeyed, as the penalty for disobedience was honorable suicide. It was also referred to as the Code.
Goblins are in your ears, stealing your DNA to clone you.
Oh no. Just so you don't get all confused, it's a set of rules we employ to keep everyone in line. Usually, if you break our rules, we make you cut yourself open.
Cut yourself open?
Why are you so surprised? The only way a warrior can own up to something is by cutting themselves open.
Traditionally, when samurai disgraced themselves, they drove their swords into their bellies. I had thought such traditions were obsolete, and that now the worst they do is pretend to cut themselves open with a fan.
You get it, right? If they're gonna die anyway, don't you think it makes more sense for them to save some face and take it into their own hands? For these guys, we gave them a choice. Kill yourself, or drink the Shogun's concoction. You get it? Don't you feel bad for them?
I couldn't think of anything to say. What sort of choice was that? Death by your own hand, or madness and death by someone else's? The men that I encountered that winter night, had their last thoughts as men been hoped they might survive the madness? It sounded horrible.
Something that makes you strong and hard to kill should be really great, right? In actuality, though, they ended up being a piece of cake. We could easily kill them all.
In a moment, I was taken back to that fateful night when Okita dispatched the warriors with white hair without any effort. And what?
I wonder what's gonna happen to Sanan.
I was worried too. Was Sanan okay? Would he change? My stomach was twisting itself into knots. And so, the long night broke. The captains of the Shinsegumi gathered in the common room.
I'm gonna have to head off, I think.
Okie doke. Okie doke.
If you don't mind.
No worries. I mean, it is past 3 hours. So I think
yeah.
it's... And, I mean, we're kind of at a point where we passed the major scene, so I think we can probably stop here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save. And thanks for joining as usual, Rolf. You're the best.
Yeah, it was fun again.
Eee. I'm glad you're having a good time with this.
Yeah, it's fun.
Heck yeah.
Good game.
Yeah. I said this is probably one of my favorite dating sim visual novels of all time. Like, it's pretty well written and pretty fun to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, have a good night, Rolf. Get some good rest.
Good night.
I'll see you later.
See you later.
Okay, let's go to the title screen. Oh wait, shoot. Oh shoot. Actually, I forgot. We need to check. Oh frick. I didn't mean to do that. We need to check and see where we are at the warrior record. Let's see where we're at with everyone. So close with Hijikata. Oh, what the? 30%. What does that mean? 30%. 30%. 30% with Soji. Heck yeah, let's go. Look at that 30%. But yeah, everyone else will probably be closed except for Saito, who's budding. But we have 30% with Soji. Let's go. My favorite man. There he is. The man himself. The man, the myth, the legend. But yeah, anyways. Now let's quit. Oh yeah, because, oh wait, you guys can't see it. I forgot, you can't see it. Never mind, I gotta move myself so that you can see what I'm talking about. It says 30 on the left, but my face is covering it. Hold up. Hold up. There it is, 30%. So I'm at 30%, and basically all the other ones, let me show. Like, Hijikata's up there, it says closed on the upper left. Soji's is 30%, Saito's is budding, and everybody else is closed. But yeah, Smalia strikes again, yep. Biggest abuse. Anyways, so let's quit then. Oh wait, let's see our... Let's see images. Ayo. Heck yeah. Good stuff. Thanks for watching, Azure. You're the best. I love you very much, Azure. Thanks for hanging out. We're making our way through the game. I think, I want to check how many chapters there are in this. Let's see. Like, that'll be the last thing we do real quick. Let's pull up also the window capture, just so that that's there. Okay. Let's see. I want to see just how many chapters there are in this. Oh, there's only 5 chapters. There's only 5 chapters in this, by the way. And we're on chapter 3 right now. So we're around, like, the halfway point. As I said, like, they had to cut the game in half, basically. So once we finish this, then we move on to, Edo Blossoms, which will probably also have, like, about 5 chapters. But yeah, so we're making good progress. We're about halfway or so through, I would say. So making good progress. But yeah, we're on chapter 3. There's 5 chapters. Ayo. So we'll see how things go. Exciting. Exciting. But anyways, for now though, I need to head off so I can go eat and stuff. I'm thinking about maybe working on my next article today, because I don't know if Rune Factory 5 is coming out tomorrow. Oh, but maybe because I would love to be able to play the game as soon as possible. And so I don't know if I should work on it today so I have tomorrow, but then I don't know when it's coming out tomorrow and how quickly they're gonna have the file on NXBrew. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do it today and tomorrow, and then I'll have Wednesday off, because then they should definitely have it by then, right? Right? I don't know. I'm also going to the dentist tomorrow, by the way, because I'm finally gonna get my Invisalign retainers, because I'll be done with the Invisalign like stuff. My teeth are basically all fixed up now again, so I just need the retainers that I'll have to wear every night. So that's another thing tomorrow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know either. It's a struggle. It's like, what do I do? What do I do? I might start it today. Maybe I won't finish it today. But I might start it. We'll see. We'll see how I feel after I eat and do other stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, Azure. You're the bombdiggydom.com. Let's see who we shall raid. Who is live? Okay, let's see. Oh, Lee is live. We should raid Lee. Just Lee Belmont. Raid. Just Lee Belmont. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, Azure. I'm always here for you too. You're the bestest bean. Okie doke. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys my next stream. I might stream later this week before my Saturday stream, depending on if I have the time. I might stream the start of Rune Factory 5, just showing me like playing through the beginning segment of it. But yeah, otherwise I'll see you guys on Saturday. See you later. I love you all very much. Bye-bye.